Thanks for listening to the Von Haessler Doctrine podcast. Remember, you can hear the show every weekday from 9 to noon right here on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from Sherwood Forest in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia, Hour 1 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. I am your lovable, huggable, mid-morning chat host, Eric Von Haessler, surrounded by the Doctrinaires, Tim Andrews, Autumn Fisher, and of course, Jared Yamamoto.
Good morning.
Well, good morning to you, sir. It's a kind of a I don't know about bittersweet. That's the wrong way to put it. It was kind of a great Atlanta sports weekend with one glaring omission, being your Falcons. But we got a lot to talk about. Big weekend. So let's shake things up here. Usually we do headlines. Don't freak out, people. We're going to get to them. Stay with us. We're going to call an audible here and start with this.
One man to beat. He cuts behind him. 20. He's going to go. 5. Touchdown.
Georgia Bulldogs and sports with Jay Black.
Jay Black, who is, where are you? Are you still in St. Louis, or are you somewhere halfway in between on your way back? Where are you, Jay Black?
I am still in St. Louis because we have a ball game today that is
oh,
rather
my goodness.
important.
You know what? I'm sorry. I'm a moron, obviously. The game at 3 o'clock today. I don't know what Anyway, it's good to have you
cheap,
here.
but I would not drive all the way back to Atlanta to sleep in my own bed and then return to St. Louis.
That's a good way for me to start off the week with one huge brain fart. Listen, what we have to talk about is what everyone in Atlanta is talking about when it comes to sports. And, of course, Jay Black, you know I'm speaking of Jared Yamamoto's absolute beatdown of Tim Andrews in their fantasy football league. Yes! I know all of Atlanta is like, look at Tim. He can't even enjoy this.
I can't even look at him. I can't even look at him.
Jay, I know they're talking about this all over St. Louis, but it wasn't even close. Wait a minute, hold on. My program director saying we have to talk about that amazing ninth inning yesterday from our Bravo. So you were there. Was the stadium stunned when the Braves turned it on in the ninth?
Except for the more than a few Braves fans that somehow managed to slip into the, quote, best baseball fans in America town, courtesy copyright, whatever they call themselves here in St. Louis. Yeah, it was. You can actually hear a lot of noise from Braves fans in that comeback. Which, man, if you're watching that game and you don't love baseball, I can't help you.
No, that's
as good as it gets.
You got a little audio for us there, Jared?
Tying run at third base. And Swanson in the air to left field. That ball is hit well. Ozuna looks up, and that's down off the wall. Hamilton scores the tying run. It's a double for Dansby Swanson.
All right, we'll get to Dansby in a second, who I think everybody was kind of thought going into this postseason, kind of shaky, but he's really turned up, just big time for us. But I'm gonna be honest here. I'm gonna be honest. I basically gave up when they started beating up on Max when he got out there. I just thought, okay, this is it. This is just it. I think he walked a couple of people, and I thought, it's over. It's all over. And ye of little faith, I should say me of little faith, what a comeback.
If there's anything you can say about this team in 2019, and frankly the Braves under Brian Snitker, is don't give up.
Yeah.
Because their comeback potential is as high as I've ever seen it with any team, so it was not totally surprising. And Carlos Martinez, the Cardinals closer, has been kind of wobbly all playoffs long, and he hung an off-speed pitch to Dansby, and man, he crushed it. And then Adam Duvall coming right back off the bench again to get it done. It was just an incredible win.
How about the escort? Who was hit? Was it Acuna? Hit? Almost hit. But the escort that Molina,
Yadier Molina, was walking
him down. I thought, this is like kind of strange, but I guess he did the right thing because he knew that Acuna could lose it. He actually helped us
Yadier Molina escorting you to first base is like a cop escorting you to the car.
I'll tell you one guy that you're not going to mess with physically is that guy, because he is just scary. I was talking to my kids about this yesterday. We were watching. I'll bet you anything in real life, he's probably the nicest guy in the world. And my oldest son said, no chance. No chance.
He is adored here in St. Louis. So
well, he should be. I mean, he's certain Hall of Famer. He's amazing, but... Yeah. Just, he looks like he just looks like a guy I would not want to piss off ever about anything. So I think the walk helped us, because isn't there a possibility that Acuna gets tossed a game if he starts something there?
Well, if he starts something, but it would have to have been a major brawl to get thrown out of the playoff game. I mean, he was not upset by that.
The first pitch of that at bat was up in Acuna's face, and then the last pitch when they walked him at that, and there was jawing between the two of them in the very beginning of the at bat, and TBS did a good job of actually capturing that coverage of them saying something to each other in the beginning, and I'm like, this is not going to be good. This is not going to end well.
Maybe he should walk. Maybe he should hustle to first base and not stare at his every time he swings the bat.
Well, that's fine, but that's not why he was walked down there by Molina. He had a good game. I mean, I think Acuna's learned his lesson, at least in this postseason. What do you think, Jay? He seems to understand what was wrong with his very horrible, wonderful first game.
Yeah, that has gone. That is not a topic in the locker room. The Braves said what they had to say, and they have moved on now, and one more to go.
And one more to go. Do we know who's pitching yet today for the Braves?
No, that we don't. It's either going to be Dallas Keuchel or Julio Teheran. If it was going to be Julio Teheran, though, they would have said it last night. So I feel fairly certain it's going to be Dallas Keuchel on short rest. Since he couldn't make it out of the fifth the last time around on only 74 pitches, I suspect he should have enough in the tank on 3 days rest today to give you 5 good innings. Julio's available. If anything goes wrong, I suspect that'll be the game plan, and then everybody's available.
That's a good one. You give Keuchel. I beat up on Keuchel after the first game. Because of the no strikeouts thing and seeming wobbly, but he's just the guy to put out there again. Like you said, didn't pitch that many pitches, and he's just a strong-willed dude. You put him out there, and what do you think? If things go wrong in the first couple, you throw in Teheran? You think that's where it's going to be?
Julio will be the first long man available. He's the only one, the only starter that has not pitched yet. But he'll be an interesting thing to watch the next 10 years: is who has a better career, Ronald Acuna or Mike Soroka?
Yeah,
I think they both can be right there.
So Soroka was amazing, and let's not forget the effort that Fulte put in. I mean, that surprised everybody. That surprised me. Maybe not everybody. It surprised me. I didn't think that he was there mentally. He can do it, but I just thought, this guy, if there's any trouble, there's going to be some sort of tennis champion meltdown. And not only did that not happen, but I think he probably threw the game of his career.
Yeah, the Braves have had just 2 spectacular starting pitching performances here in the last 2 games, and now if things don't go right today, if we go back to Atlanta for Game 5 on Wednesday, you got Fulte hanging in there. Soroka only threw 90 pitches, so he's got plenty left in the tank if he needs to come in and get 2 innings in Game 5 as well. But the Braves are in a good spot. The team that wins takes a 2-1 lead in the series, wins 75% of the time. Knock on fake wood here at the hotel.
Yeah. I'm knocking on.
It's all setting up to break this streak.
I'm knocking on Formica right here, man. Yes. We're all in. Do you have another piece of audio you want to play? Because I wanted to go on and I'm going to ask about Quinn. Go ahead.
Dansby, this is they talked to him afterward. The AP had some reporters that talked to him.
Great fielding from Dansby as well, not just the batting.
Yes, and they asked him how he felt about earlier in the season where he had struggled with runners in scoring position.
It's never fun, but you can always learn and grow. In every situation you're faced with, in times of adversity, you learn and grow the most. So I'm thankful for the ups and the downs, and it's kind of led me to this moment now. And like I said, just so thankful to be able to do it with these guys.
All right, first pitch, 3:07.
That's correct.
And I just want it to be over. Just go out there, do it. I'm sure it'd be great to have a Game 5, but here. But no, let's just get it. Let's get the job done.
If you can stick a fork on the Cardinals, go ahead and do it.
Go ahead and do it. Yeah, because by the way, they won one of the games in our stadium. So let's just get done. Get it done.
Yes.
Hold on. Get her done, as Tim Andrews often says.
Get her done.
That's right. Now, I guess Arthur Blank has already come out and said that he stands behind Dan Quinn. But I will tell you something, Jay Black. 53 points that they gave up yesterday. Dan Quinn got rid of whoever was calling the defensive plays last year. He's calling the plays. The defense is looking terrible. The offense a little better yesterday, but since Kyle Shanahan, and also, by the way, still on the resume, the 28-3 Super Bowl collapse. Do you think this is real? Sometimes when just the fact that the owner has to step up and say he still supports you is the first sign that there's problems.
It was highly unlikely that when Arthur Blank was asked that question yesterday, he said, I think I'm going to fire him right here. Hang on, don't run off the corner, guy. So, but firing Quinn mid-season,
Now, you know what?
It's not going to help this team.
It's not going to help, but you got to move on. I think
but
once
he ain't making it to February.
Yeah, once you make the decision, I think it's better to go ahead and do it. I guess they can make Cutter the interim guy. He's failed in other places. Let him,
yes, he has.
That was the big. Why was Cutter rehired as offensive coordinator? When you remember that Green Bay game, Arthur Blank was so mad when that was over. He kind of tossed shade at Cutter as he was walking out the door to become the Tampa Bay head coach.
I did think that was a little odd because it's not like we were going to tell our grandkids about the first Dirk Cutter offensive coordinator era.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a chance to bring him back through the door. Yeah, I mean, there is some familiarity, and there have been an excessive amount of offensive coordinators here in Atlanta in the last 8 years.
Yeah,
but that did seem to be a little odd.
I think with Matt Ryan, you got 1-2 more seasons, and you just start thinking about, okay, let's break it up and rebuild it.
Yeah,
we're getting close to the end here, and
Matt's about to get very expensive in the salary cap.
Yeah, and Quinn, it's amazing to me that that this guy. He gets you all the way to the Super Bowl. That amazing. So
MVP year?
How much of that was Kyle Shanahan? That's the question. The 49ers are doing pretty well right now. All right.
You would have to seem to be quite a bit. But he also had a great offensive line that year, too, and it has not been able to replicate since.
Yeah, I know, but right now, it's the defense giving up 53 points. I mean, that's insane. Now, very quickly, while we're doing the whole sports thing, how many people are listening to us right now going, I don't listen to WSB for the sports
Tons of people are
roundup.
listening to us, Eric.
You know what? I know people are listening to us, but we're changing the game here, so to speak. Bulldogs fans, I think beginning of that second quarter, were thinking, this is a little closer comfort. What do you think?
They had a good game plan for a quarter and a half.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they don't have the talent.
Georgia quickly realized what they were doing and put a stop to that.
That's right. I was interested is that I'm worried because going into that game because I knew that somebody was going to drop out of that top four because to make room for LSU, and it looks like that's what's happened here, right? LSU jumped into the top four. Clemson got knocked out, right?
Yeah, I mean it'll all sort itself out.
Here's my prediction though.
Okay.
LSU beats Alabama for SEC West.
That is brave.
And then Georgia has to watch out for LSU and what goes on over there because I don't care what. I don't care if they're the best three teams in college football. They're not putting three SEC teams in the playoffs.
Hey man, first things first. Georgia's got to go by Florida.
No, I understand that. Florida looks good.
Yeah, we will. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, okay. Yes, Kirby's here. He says it's fine. All right, Jay Black. Well, I'm glad you don't have to travel today, like I opened this up with my brain fart. We're past my brain fart, and I want to say, did you find any good parking? They had no press.
Actually, yeah, I did. It was a little steep, but it actually worked out right by the ballpark. I'm not paying for it, so we'll have the company take care of that when I come back.
Yeah, how does that work? You got to put it up front, and then you got to get it reimbursed.
Yes.
We'll have that money back to you within the next 2 years, I promise.
Yeah, something like that.
Go ahead. All right, Jay Black. Well, go Bravos. And
let's get this thing done.
Nice. Enjoy yourself in St. Louis. I don't like St. Louis people all that much. I find
they heard about that yesterday. They were not happy with you.
I
got a couple of complaints about that.
Hey, look, Jay, there's good people everywhere, but in my time in St. Louis, I just felt like they were very arrogant, and after a while, you just want to say...
No wonder they lost their football team.
Yeah, exactly. They deserve to lose it.
Hey, we have an arch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. After a while, it's like, you got an arch. Get out of my face. It's not that important. All right, Jay Black, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See how all this
sounds
came out.
good.
Thank you. All right, I guess we start headlines for 1 minute.
Headlines for Monday, October 7th.
Hey, Jay, if you're driving back, No, I have a game in St. Louis today. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's the whole reason I have you on my show. Okay, good way to start the week. What do you got for me?
Joker had a huge weekend, breaking all October box office records, guys.
Yeah, it made $795 trillion in America alone. Wow. I couldn't believe it. Oh, was it 93 million?
93.5 million.
After everybody in the media tried to warn people, don't go to the theaters to see this movie. How about that? Not one single incident. Does that tell you about the hyperbole? Does that tell you what goes on? Somebody puts a story up there. A bunch of you morons click on it. The other news outlets see how much clickability that had, and suddenly we got a big story last week about how security's being upped and everybody's afraid. Yet no one asked the question, has there been one single verified threat? No. Learn a lesson. The von Haessler Doctrine is here to say when you see it in one area, you can apply it to others. As wrong as the media on Moss was about all the violence that was going to take place over the opening of the movie Joker, well, you just take that spotlight and shine it in a few other places. That's how much they know about what's going to happen in the future about anything. And that's all right, as long as you recognize that's the truth. You would have thought that this, one of these theaters was going to be nuked with the hyperbole going on. I hear it's a pretty good movie. A little more violent than you expect from a Batman franchise movie, but Joaquin Phoenix can be annoying or great. This seems like the kind of character that he's great in.
Eric Von Haessler. If you think the stock market is unpredictable, buckle up and spend the next hour here. Seriously, we have no idea what he's going to say next. Eric Von Haessler on 95.5 WSB.
These Sunday shows and the 24-hour news network stuff, I have not been watching. I came in this morning and I saw that Jared Yamamoto had a clip from, what is this, Meet the Press?
Yeah, with Chuck Todd.
Chuck Todd. And I've said this before. You're not a reporter unless you don't care who wins. Reporting is supposed to be objective. Reporters are supposed to be between us and them, the powerful. And they're supposed to give us the information we need with a little bit of context to put it all into place. But they're not supposed to actually care. So a lot of people are responding to, and this is being billed as Representative Ron Johnson, Republican, loses his mind on Meet the Press. I hear something different. Go ahead.
Do you not trust the Do you not trust the FBI? You don't trust the CIA?
No,
I'm just very confused here.
Absolutely
you don't trust
not.
either of those
agencies. Lisa Page.
Okay.
After James Comey.
You believe the FBI and the CIA?
John Brennan. No, I don't trust any of these guys in the Obama administration. I don't trust any of them.
You don't trust them now. You trust them now.
No, I didn't trust him back then.
And I see everybody else sees, he's going crazy. It's like, why is Chuck Todd so emotional? What's his job here? His job is to elicit information. What does he care what that representative thinks? He's kind of tipping his hand there. I mean, we all know, but you'd think that at least try to act professional. When you get that emotional, it's because you're on one side of the issue with that snarky, eye-rolling kind of, you don't trust any. That's not a reporter. That's a pundit. There's a difference. All right, a couple of things. I wanted to get to this commercial on television that I'm seeing during sports an awful lot. But before that, just Jared Yamamoto, we have to have is there a way to excommunicate someone from Dog Nation? I mean, just completely, I don't know if there's a ceremony. Well, no, Alan, I'm not talking about excommunicating him.
We used to burn him on homecoming.
Yeah, I'm not talking about excommunicating him from the world. Just he can still live, Alan. I think that he's given up his right, Dog Nation. So Jared comes over to me before he goes, I don't understand. Everybody's getting down on me because of my Instagram. So on his Instagram, he shows one day he and his beautiful girlfriend. Can I say that in 2019?
I think so.
Is that misogynist to point out that she's beautiful?
You don't know what you're doing anymore.
I really don't. So they're at the Braves game on Thursday. And then he shows the next picture. So he's got the Braves stuff on. And then the next picture, Christina, beautiful as she is, poor girl is a volunteer. She went to Tennessee. So he goes up to Tennessee. And then the next picture on Instagram, he's wearing a shirt that says Tennessee football. and people go crazy. And he says, it just says Tennessee football.
I am a supportive boyfriend.
No, in orange, it says Tennessee football.
I am
Look,
a
pal,
supportive boyfriend. I'm a West Georgia Wolf first and foremost, but I love the dogs, and I'm happy for the
Dog
Vols.
Nation doesn't care about your Wolves.
Yeah.
They don't count.
How do they not count?
But an adversary like Tennessee, for you to show up with their stuff on. I mean, what if I was walking around St. Louis with I wore a shirt that said St. Louis baseball. It didn't say Cardinals on it. I mean, give me a break. You are hereby excommunicated. I'll get Hondo in on this. I'm sure they know all the rituals. But you are hereby excommunicated from Dog Nation. I will have no rebuttal. Let's do this.
Headlines for Monday, October 7th.
Ashamed of yourself.
Alan has been yelling at me all morning about
You
this.
should, yeah.
I guess in 2019 you can't be a supportive boyfriend anymore. I got called a soy boy. I got called a soy boy.
That's what this is
Used to
about.
be you couldn't wear any other logo but Georgia or you'd get fired.
Yeah, as Otto said, it's not about that. That's about you trying to please everybody. You know what happens when you try to please everybody? There's an awful lot of radio personalities out of work today because they don't realize this. when you try to please everybody, you please no one and you upset many people.
I was very happy when
Tennessee,
Georgia won.
When in Tennessee, you do as the Romans or something like that. I don't know. I'll just put on.
When it comes to that matchup, it's a tough one for me.
Why?
I lived in Chattanooga for a while, which is right in between Knoxville and
practically
Athens.
Georgia.
Oh, for heaven's sakes!
And I have always loved Georgia and Tennessee. With my girlfriend going there, it makes it. I'm like, okay, I support
So
her.
you would have been happy if Tennessee would have won that game. You would have been happy.
I would have been indifferent.
Just indifferent.
I was happy that Georgia won, but indifferent if Tennessee had won.
He told me. You know what he told me? He said, if Tennessee wins, I'm going to have more fun at the hotel afterward than if they lose. That's what he told me. And I think to give up on the Bulldogs like that, just for that, I find that to be immoral.
Hey, you know what they say, Eric?
Bros before hoes.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Right, Autumn.
You know
I
what they
had
say?
fun either way.
You know what they say? Happy wife, happy life, right there, Eric. Come on.
You're not married.
She would be. You're not married.
I know,
And
but
beyond
that's
that, I
insane.
just don't see as Christina as somebody who's going to be that upset if you're rooting for
she
your.
told me I had to. So
Wait
I
a
was
minute.
like, okay.
Happy chick, happy. Oh, never mind.
No. That's what it comes
I
down
like rhymes.
to.
I like rhymes.
All
I like
right.
rhymes.
All right, you turncoat, you traitor. Give me some headlines.
Well, I have this bizarre story where this woman managed to get past security, TSA security, and onto a Delta flight that was in Orlando heading to Atlanta, and people are not sure.
Yeah,
she
how
had
she
no
got
idea.
there?
She didn't have a boarding
But can I-
pass.
Okay,
Yeah, go ahead.
The way that headline reads bothered me
Why?
because woman manages to get through security. Like,
Yeah.
You
No.
need to say why.
Well, that's the whole idea. You got to
No,
click.
it's implied.
You got to
right?
click. You got
I
to
know,
click.
but it was a dumb way to write the
gotta-
headline.
you
Woman
know what?
makes it through security and gets on a flight. Okay.
I'm a rebel. I decided I'm done clicking
Yeah.
on the internet. I'm going to start clacking.
Ooh.
When others zig, I zag. You know that. Zig, zag, click, clack. These things are important to be a contrarian in this world.
I'm gonna
So,
clickety.
You got to clickety click. So so she got on. I don't know how you get on. You used to work at Delta. I don't know
Yes.
how you get past the boarding agent without showing anything.
My guess is that a lot of times when people, what will happen is when you're calling a certain zone to board, everyone likes to crowd around the door, and maybe she snuck in behind somebody like that. But even then, though, that's a major violation
But
on the
isn't it-
agent.
Isn't it that she got through security?
Yeah,
not-
how'd she get through TSA?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that
is a
too.
mystery.
No, but I mean, at the end of the day, you're supposed to show your boarding pass to get on the plane.
Right, you have to scan it.
I mean, security. I for some reason I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how the hell do you get that far? If she got all the way to the seat, then somebody else shows up and says, "Hey, that's my seat," and she's like, "No, it's not your seat." Well, can you show us any? I didn't know. I can't show you anything.
What was her end plan? I mean, she got really far.
wanted to go to Atlanta.
Granted her,
free
you
ride.
grant her that. But when someone says that's my seat,
Yeah.
what's
Yeah,
your
you're done.
plan now?
Well, maybe.
No, it's not.
Was she crazy? I mean, we're going to find out if she's just a crazy person.
Well, she had no identification on her. She kept showing her phone, and
Yeah.
it had a picture of an ID on it.
Here
She
I
said,
am.
"This is me. This is me."
Yeah.
And the pilot's like, "Okay,"
But she wasn't on the manifest. So
No.
even if it was her, she wasn't on. She was not supposed to. She didn't never purchased a ticket.
She just
Right?
really
They're like, oh, this is your seat. Oh, okay. I guess I'll get off the plane.
Get off the plane or just go find another one. Maybe it's not sold out. maybe you'll keep on bouncing around until you end up in that horrible seat by the back bathrooms that might as well be a bench at the back of the bus. That seat.
Maybe she's friends with that crazy guy who ran around the airport last week.
Maybe they're the performance artist.
Yeah.
When I'm on that last seat in that last row, when the plane's taking off and you're doing that 30,000-foot ascent.
Yeah.
I just in my mind I feel like, man, if the back pops open, I'm the first one to go. Gravity and all. I had this in my mind.
You would think about
I'm just
that.
tumbling out of the back of the plane.
He's preparing for the worst in case it does happen. He's like, I thought about this already and I can handle it.
It's not as if there's anything to do about it.
Yeah, exit plan.
Once I realized, I thought that way on an airplane where it's like, I could either stress out and get really nervous and crazy and start really catastrophizing everything, or it's like, I have zero control over anything that's going to happen. So if it's going to happen, it's just going to happen. I can just relax either way.
Well, that's my attitude when I'm on a plane. My brain still goes with the crazy thoughts.
Do you have a little drinky?
Alan actually said something that's true. It's like, why not be the first to die in that situation? So actually being the first one to roll out is probably a good idea. The only persons that ever lived through that is like, one 9-month-old baby for some reason or something.
Because it was in a car seat.
Yeah, like I had a helmet on.
Because it had a warped head, just happened to have a helmet on.
We should all wear helmets.
One time in the late 80s, we were doing a lot of flying around for a radio station, and I decided that I'll do some drinks. It was a big enough plane that had its own bar where you could stand around, and I found out that was not a good idea because not only do I have a fear of flying, it turns out I'd forgotten that I also have a weak stomach.
Oh.
So I would rather.
You have to push past the weak stomach.
Yeah, it didn't help. It was the worst ride of my life. Yeah. I think just Xanax before I get on is probably
Sure. Okay, you switch to drugs. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's the way it should be, right?
Yeah.
I've never done it that way. Don't be judgmental. Never done it that way. All right, I want to get some political stuff here. You told me Nancy Pelosi.
Oh yes.
So she was
campaigning in South Carolina.
Okay, first of all, let's get McConnell first. He says Pelosi's being controlled by a left-wing mob on the impeachment thing, right?
Nancy Pelosi's in the clutches of a left-wing mob.
Told you.
They finally convinced her to impeach the president. All of you know your Constitution. The way that impeachment stops is when a Senate majority with me as majority leader. But I need your help. Please contribute before the deadline.
I need money. Help me out with money.
Wait, does it cost money for him to put on a trial in the Senate? I didn't realize it comes out of his pocket.
I got to do everything with my own money, and we could use your help here.
Maybe a little less on the
job that we should have to support until he's gone.
A little less on the bourbon, maybe.
Wouldn't you be drinking at a time like this? How are you going to get through this Trump presidency without being?
You're an ally of Trump.
Yeah, but I got to bury it somehow.
So while McConnell says that Nancy Pelosi's being controlled by that left wing mob, you got Chuck Schumer saying the complete opposite.
Yeah.
I think Speaker Pelosi is handling this professionally, without histrionics, without name-calling, very well.
Yeah, she does a very good job.
I love this. Does she, Jeff?
She has faced unsurmountable challenges with this presidency, and what Speaker Pelosi is doing is very, very, very heroic.
Well, you need some sleep there?
I sound like this all the time.
It's Chuck Schumer. Play that again.
I think Speaker Pelosi is handling this professionally, without histrionics, without name-calling,
That's it. Stop it
very
there.
well.
No name calling. Oh, why is it that when you allege that someone is violating the Constitution, that's not name calling? Anything the other way, the left never does name calling. Kavanaugh, that was just a thorough review. No name calling.
The current president, President Trump, is always calling people mean names.
Chuck Schumer is on that warped tape.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, that's if I did it.
But Pelosi apparently she's getting some chuckles out there. She
this is here in South Carolina.
Told a funny little joke.
There's this meme going around of me, and I'm saying, Donald, you used to own a casino. You know the house always wins.
Oh, wow. Look at that. That was something.
Yeah.
That was something. You get into the comedy business now, Nancy?
Yeah, it's a couple of things I'm working on.
I'm sorry, I don't know that I quite understand what you're saying there.
I'm working on a little bit of joking.
Yeah.
Joking.
You got any more? You got more jokes?
Yeah, I got some more. You ain't
Yeah,
here.
this is the whole thing. I think she's appearing at the Ha Ha Hut this weekend in Chicago.
The cha-cha. Okay.
No, Ha Ha.
Oh, cha-cha.
Ha Ha.
Sa.
Okay.
Why did the fish have a bad report card?
I don't know, Nancy Pelosi. Why did the fish have a bad report card?
Because all of his grades were undersea.
You see? Yeah. Wow,
I gotta
Nancy.
work on my intonation.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And also being able to speak in such a way that the words get past your teeth, where people can actually understand what you're
I
saying.
got another one. You want?
Sure, I'd love to hear
Okay.
another joke, man. Nancy
What
Pelosi.
does one icicle say to the other icicle before leaving?
What does one icicle say to the other icicle before
Icicle.
leaving?
It's
Sorry?
an icicle. You
Yeah,
know,
it's
it's snowing outside. It's icy.
Uh-huh.
Icicle.
So when it's snowing outside, it's icy.
Yeah.
Icicle.
Okay. It's an icicle. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
You know
what
what they
does
say?
one icicle say to the other icicle before leaving? I don't know, Nancy Pelosi. What does one icicle say to the other icicle before leaving?
Bicycle.
Yes. I'm not laughing with you. I'm laughing at you. If
Oh,
you-
no.
Well, you know what? Hey, just take the laughs, right?
All right.
'Cause
Hey,
we-
listen. I appreciate the notes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the notes. I'm
Why
giving
did
you-
the teacher jump in the pool?
Why did what?
Why did the teacher?
Why did the teacher?
The teacher.
Why did the chaser?
Why did the teacher?
We'll try to figure this out when we come back. All right, so Nancy Pelosi's out there doing jokes, doing humor. We left. You were doing another joke. Well, in case people are just joining us, here's the joke from yesterday that she's out there on the, I guess, the impeachment tour. I don't know where she was.
There's this meme going around of me, and I'm saying, Donald, you used to own a casino. You know the house always wins.
Yeah, and so you told us a couple other jokes. You're adding this to your your act, and
Working
you
on my stand up.
yeah you used to we went to the break, and I couldn't understand what the setup was.
The teacher. Why did was it the teacher?
Yeah,
no,
it was the teacher.
Bicycle?
Yeah, it was the teacher.
Okay. Why did the teacher jump in the pool?
I thought you said that didn't. I didn't hear the word teacher in there. Did you?
Why
Excuse
did
me?
why did the teacher jump in the pool?
Why did the seashore, the creature?
No,
Why
that-
did the?
All right, let's try a different. Should we try a
Nancy
different one?
Pelosi, I cannot understand you. You really have to do something. Can
You
you
need
just?
to take the cotton out of your ears and put them in your mouth.
Oh wow! See, this is getting a little Don Rickles like.
All right,
This Pelosi, she's an insult comic now.
Yeah, where are you from?
Where am I from?
Yeah, I don't go to your job and tell you how to make a burger.
Wow, this Nancy Pelosi. She's got appearing, as I said, at the Ha Ha.
Are you guys a couple? You two? Are you and this guy next to you, this Japanese fellow?
Yeah. Yeah, the Ha Ha Hut all weekend long. in Chicago.
Are you visiting? Did you?
I
you
want to
guys-
hear the. I
you
want
let
to.
him out of your mom's basement. You know?
I want to hear the sea creature
Okay.
joke.
Why did the tater?
The tater.
No, not potato. Why did the teacher jump in the pool?
Why did the teacher jump in the pool? I don't
There you
know,
go.
Nancy Pelosi. Why did the teacher jump in the pool?
Get ready for this one. To test the water. Thank you very much. That's my time. Yes, sir. Give it up for your headliner.
Let's hear it once again for the comedy
Thank you so much.
stylings of Nancy Pelosi. Hour 2 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. You know, somebody, I don't know if you noticed this in the office this morning. I don't know where, I don't know whom, but toast was burnt in this building this morning. You know, I take my laps, I'm walking around. I don't know who was making toast. I don't know who has a toaster here.
Do we have any old ladies working upstairs?
Whoopsie.
Because they like to burn toast.
Has
old ladies.
anyone seen my toast?
Yeah, did you burn the toast?
Oh, I don't know. I put the toast in and then I got a phone call.
I thought that there was an electrical fire, for heaven's sake.
It was my sister.
Oh, on
She
the call.
called me and she was
No,
telling
I don't
me
care about that. I don't care about that.
Well,
just
she
want-
saw Nancy last week at the grocery store.
That's fine.
And
I'm not really interested in the phone call.
Well,
It's
she
more
was
to do with-
she was buying a quart of milk.
You think it's
Now,
a good idea to
she's
burn
the kind of
toast at
person
school?
who normally buys a gallon of
Okay,
milk, and it was odd
Alan,
to see
turn her
that
down.
she was just
She's
buying a
off on her thing, and we'll perhaps we'll check in a little bit later. Maybe she knows maybe she stopped. Pull her back up here for a
I
second.
don't think
No, I don't-
he
no.
died.
No, it's like, okay, we'll just put her down there for a moment. And I have to get onto this. I've been watching this commercial because it's playing like crazy during all the sports stuff. And I don't know, have you seen the commercial? This the Domino's commercial where they have insurance in case something goes wrong.
Yes,
and
yes,
then
I
they
have
show
seen
the people bringing the replacement pizzas. But here's a little part of it.
Domino's, a delivery gone wrong doesn't just hurt your pizza night. It hurts our pride.
We're going to be expediting this order.
That's the lady I love.
We're going to be expediting this order.
I love the lady who acts like she runs in. Oh, I thought I had the ISO. I don't. I'm expedite this order. You know, she's putting on her apron really fast as she runs in there. She's using industry lingo, expedite, rather than we're going to do this first. We're going to expedite. You know, she's running in there like she's working triage on like emergency room Saturday night at Grady. We're gonna
what's 86? I need status on what's 86.
God, pepperoni stat.
Yeah.
This is important.
Domino's, a delivery gone wrong doesn't just hurt your pizza night.
It hurts our pride. We're going to be expediting this order.
She's putting it. I'm already expediting it out of my way. It's really important. All right, let's do this.
More headlines for Monday, October 7th.
I want you to expedite this
headline.
All right, we're going to be expediting these headlines.
Right, we're going to need a headline from the AJC, Jared.
I don't see Shaq expediting orders over at Papa John's.
Well, he doesn't need to. They don't make mistakes.
The Papa does not make mistakes.
Well, Papa did, but Shaq's taking over now. Papa made one mistake, and Papa doesn't own a pizza shop anymore. All right, so I'm worse than Pelosi with my.
It's Papa doesn't own. Papa don't preach.
God bless the United States.
Got a little bit of that itis going on this morning. All right, what do you got?
A federal judge has ruled that President Trump must hand over his tax returns to New York prosecutors.
Well, this is dangerous. It's a 75. This is ABC News 75-page decision. Both these judges. I mean, do you need 75 pages? Just give it front and back. Let's save paper. 2 pages, front and back. One
double
piece
space,
of paper.
please.
They worry about the trees.
Yeah. In a 75-page decision, Judge Victor Marrero said he could not endorse such a categorical and limitless assertion of presidential immunity from judicial process as being countenanced by the nation's constitutional plan. So basically, Trump has been arguing you can't sue presidents. You can't, in this sort of discovery, you can go after me after I'm president or before I'm president, not while I'm president. And this has immediately been appealed to... what is it? The Second Circuit. So this will go on appeal. This is why I'm not watching any 24-hour news right now. I'm selectively reading what I need to know to keep up with the impeachment thing and all the other stuff, because I care about precedent, and I care and I'm way different than most people on the left or on the right. I believe that you have to treat every president basically as if it's your favorite president in terms of precedence. So the people who hate Trump, and there's plenty of them, want to get him any way possible. It's the Al Capone thing. Al Capone didn't go to jail for anything that he did as a mobster. He went to jail for not paying his taxes. And they were like, well, get the guy in jail. We'll get him in jail. And that's kind of what's going on here. But I would say to the people on the left, if you could step back from your hatred one moment and imagine that the sitting president is someone that you love, all right? Anything that is done to the president by you that you hate will be done to the president you love. The reason there's protections like this in place for presidents isn't because they're powerful and they're wonderful and they're elite and so the laws don't apply to them. It's because if you open this up, every president can be litigated to death constantly. And once you open this door as not a search for the truth, but as a weapon in politics, if it's successful, which is what you want, well, in politics, anything that's successful is used again. So be careful what you use to win. It will be noticed by those that you beat and will be used against you in the future. So this idea that the president has to turn over any documents related to any case against him, well, if you hate the president, make this precedence and get ready for your favorite president, the one you believe in the future, to be tied down like this too. Because if you hate Trump, you think he's unique, but that's a delusion. He's a president of the United States. That's all that matters in the end when it comes to history and precedents. So be careful if you hate this president, how far you'll go to get him. Because if it's successful, you're just showing your playbook to the opposition, and they're going to surely bring that hell to bear down upon your favorite president. Always treat the president you don't like with the same respect as the president you love, so that you create a precedence that says it's going to be policy that we decide on when it comes to elections. We're not going to be able to just sue and discovery of every president from the opposition that's mad that they lost. That's way too heady for most people. So I don't expect
precedent for the president.
Yes, a precedent. It's a presidential precedent.
Presidential president.
What was that, Nancy Pelosi?
Presidential president.
Yeah, I think
pestilent.
Presidential.
No. Presidential president.
I think I under presidential.
Yeah.
Precedents.
President.
We've never had a president who did, wacky novelty tunes, but this one does. And
that's right, I do.
You have something for me? I don't know. I don't quite understand what it is that you said.
It's a little something with the best of novelty tunes that have yet to be released. You have to buy this compilation in order to hear all of them. But these are little samples from each song. You know, like you're up at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
You're watching VH1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
One of those old washed-up VJs comes on and for an hour tells you how you could get these CDs.
So these are
something
little
like
clips.
that. Yeah.
What is this called?
Well, it's called Schooner Tunes.
Schooner tunes.
Schooner tunes. You know, like a boat.
Okay, so I take it you're trying to get into that yacht rock area.
I can't use yacht rock, but you know the game.
So it's not yacht rock.
Well, it's sort of not, but it sort of is.
It's schooner tunes.
Schooner tunes.
All right, let's hear this.
Ahoy! POTUS Records presents Schooner Tunes, featuring Demented Don and the Donalds.
I'm not corrupt, so don't believe it. It's just because the fake news lies to you. Biden did Obama's dirty work. Oh yeah, vote for me. I must be re-elected. I'm just talking to Zelensky.
Schooner Tunes, featuring Demented Don and the Donalds. Slap on some sunblock, pop a top, and crank the tunes.
Why is he so creepy looking and bald? If you were sent by Obama to mess around in Ukraine,
help President Trump fight Congress and get reelected in 2020. Only $19.95. Order yours today at schoonertunes.gov.
Fake news, they lie.
Is that a real website?
Fake news, they lie. Fake news, they lie. So you could go buy this, support me, and listen to some great 70s tunes.
God bless the United States.
Nothing like yacht rock, though, you're telling us.
Not a thing like yacht rock.
Schooner tunes.
Schooner tunes.
Got another story for me.
Yes, the NBA season started last night.
Well,
and
preseason.
Preseason started last night, and
Who's this guy? He's worse than me this morning.
Well,
we're kind of verbally stumbling out of the gates. Great show. Just verbally, I have to say that myself and Jared Yamamoto, we didn't get our mouths ready for the show.
You know what it is? There's so
Usually we make out before the show to get our mouths ready.
Exactly.
And we were too busy.
Up.
Yeah,
we were too busy.
Nothing wrong with it either.
Of course.
No.
Excuse me. It's 2019.
Well, some people out there might have been arguing.
You look at me funny about something like that. I just point to the calendar, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a little off because you didn't send me a video of it.
Oh, well, that's usually she gets warmed up by seeing us do our mouth warm-ups.
Ah.
We're a little off this morning.
I know
Go
everyone's
ahead.
a little off.
Yeah.
So, but the beginning of the NBA season started with the
preseason.
Beginning of the preseason started with a little bit of controversy.
Do I have to come over there and make out with you right now just to get you right?
Yes, you do.
Commercial.
Well, Rockets GM Daryl Morey's pro-Hong Kong tweet ignited this geopolitical scandal between the NBA and China, and he has since backtracked.
What was the tweet?
Saying that
basically the tweet was that he was in support of the people in Hong Kong.
That's right,
the protesters.
And now he's had to come out and apologize for it and say that those were his views, not the Rockets and not the NBA.
And the NBA groveled as well. And thanks Yao Ming. Yao Ming played for the Rockets, right?
That's right.
So the Rockets are very popular in China still. And let me tell you something about America. Let's take a look in the mirror. Disgusting. Disgusting the way this country is responding to what's going on in Hong Kong, if we're responding at all. Most of you are too busy with other niche things, whatever you're into, your favorite blog from the left or the right, or your favorite 24-hour news station, and none of them is going to show you a whole hell of a lot about Hong Kong. They tried a few months ago. They found out the ratings dipped, and that's all that matters. You know what? There's something between the neocons' adventurism around the world to try to install our systems elsewhere. We found out that wasn't a good idea. That's a slam dunk. But that doesn't mean we have to retreat from the world of ideas. People in Hong Kong are free people who are losing their freedom, and they are fighting their butts off to keep their freedom. They're showing up with American flags. They're praising the president. They've got statues of liberty, and we have a collective yawn. Trump doesn't give a damn about this sort of thing. Neither does Tim Cook or any of the other tech people. And you know what? The Houston Rockets, if social justice here, they'd be all over it. They're against the cops, everything. But in China, whatever the government wants, it is disgusting on the part of this country. Maybe I was a bit harsh there, America. But this used to matter. We don't have to send our troops everywhere to try to create democracies. But just because that didn't work out in the 2000s doesn't mean that we have to totally retreat from the world of ideas. You know, I know I'm talking about just the absolute silence from America, their politicians, the media, the tech companies, everyone on what China is doing in Hong Kong. You need to understand this. These are not people who are unfree trying to get freedom. These are free people who are slipping into losing their freedom, and they're fighting like hell. And we don't get. Trump's going to make a deal based on nothing having to do with Hong Kong. And I know that an awful lot of people in the Republican Party have said to themselves, oh, this is the best Republican president ever. Well, excuse me if I still will go the Lincoln-Reagan bookends on that one still. Because Reagan was seen as a square by the hippies in the 60s, and he was seen as a square when he's president by the Springsteen no nukes crowd. But Ronald Reagan had no problem with protest. None. And Ronald Reagan, when he was staring down the Soviet Union, he had Soviet ambassador in the White House, and because of that, at one point there were a lot of Russian expats that were protesting outside the White House. And during the meeting, Reagan opened the blinds, pointed to those people, and said that has to be dealt with as well. Their concerns have to be dealt with as well. We don't have to go on military adventurism. We don't have to jump in any way. But as far as rhetoric goes, it's disgusting to me that the President of the United States has barely said anything. He did mention it at the UN in a laundry list, but not as something that animates him. And the news has decided you don't want to see it, or you told them that. They tried to show you some of it and you tuned away, and that freaks them out. So you're not going to see a whole lot of it. But America needs to stand for freedom in the world. Reagan's shining city on the hill. By the way, lefties, he didn't say perfect city on the hill. Ideal, a beacon to the world. This is important. And no, you don't have to send your sons and daughters over to fight everywhere where this is going on. And it probably makes more sense that we don't do that. We learned our lesson. But you don't retreat from the world of ideas. No one in Hong Kong should ever doubt that anyone listening to me right now is 100% on their side. But I'll bet they do, because they haven't heard from you in a long time. I just don't know. I can't figure out if analytics is making sports better or worse. Huh? So I'll toss that out there. I'll tell you this. I looked in the mirror a little early, and then I looked in the mirror later, and I decided that I aged 2 years between the 7th and 9th innings of that game yesterday. They started beating up on Freed, man. I thought it was over. All right, let's do this.
It's the Doctrine mailbag. We've got the open mics, Facebook messages, and emails we've collected from the week.
Now, as a fan, I just want to admit, like, I grew up a Catholic. This would be my confession. I just thought it was over. I gave up. In my heart and my soul, I gave up on a team that has come back in the 9th many times this year. And I gotta pull myself out there and just say I gave up. I didn't think it was possible.
When they intentionally walked McCann and they got to Dansby, where you were nervous at that point, right?
But Dansby had already shown that he was up for this that he was up for this series. I think we'd already seen that. It was before that. It was just when Fried walked in there and things didn't start out well. And I thought,
they brought in O'Day. O'Day got the pick off at third.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like
the pick off at third was
unbelievable.
That's when it was on.
That's not how the Brave script goes,
I
Eric.
want to feel better though. Why did I give up? You know what? I'm trying to protect myself. I'm one of these. A lot of losing fans have been rooting on franchises in their lifetimes that maybe never got a glimpse of the glory of Nirvana, of championships, world championships. That's now how it's worked for me. Almost every team that I've ever loved has gotten as close as you can get without getting there. And I think at the age of 55, I'm protecting myself against that first heart attack or something. And I just go, all right, whatever. I don't need it. This is the rationalizing, because I used to be one of these fans that would lose my mind. In the 90s, I was watching a football game. I got so angry, I threw a bunch of grapes across the room. And like a year later, I moved my television and found raisins. So this is.
Did you eat them?
No, of course not. I've broken glasses. I've started fights with my spouse. All kinds of things. But now that I'm older, I have more rationalizing things that go on in my head. Like, Eric, this is what I say to myself when games are close and it's really important to me. This actually happens in my head. I say, Eric, because that's my name. Eric, there's a difference between want and need. You want your favorite team to win. You don't need for your favorite team to win. It's something that you want. And if you don't get what you want, you have to just gotta move on. And so I'm doing a lot of this protective stuff. But if you throw yourself out there emotionally on the line and the team comes back and does what they did, it's so much more of a payoff that you were out there. So the Braves didn't let me down, but I let them down. That's what I'm confessing.
I kept explaining to the people that were watching the game with that this is not how the script goes. Like the Braves would have normally lost 1-0. That's normally what would have happened.
That's the normal postseason script. The regular season this year has been full of these kind of comebacks.
Yes.
In the seventh inning on. All right, did I open up the mailbag?
You did open up the mailbag.
Well, let's get to some mail.
We have lots.
What do you think? I listen to WSB to get what's going on inside of Eric's head as he worries about the Braves blowing it? No, I tune in for mailbag.
Yes, we have lots of Facebook messages, emails, and open mics from the WSB radio app. We'll start with one listener.
By the way, he's an expert. Not the first mailbag he's ever handled.
He sounds like he knows what
he knows what he's talking about.
Hey, this one time back in college, okay?
Yeah. Once?
Huh?
Okay, hey, all right, sorry,
Now, this first...
That one time he was in college.
Yeah. It actually lasted through the entire 4 years.
Yeah.
But it's the one time he was in college. All right.
Yes. So this first open micer is a little upset with us because we brought up a lot of sports today, and he wants to mention another thing.
Y'all are talking about the Braves and the Bulldogs and the stinking Falcons, but no mention of the Atlanta United last night. Team that's gone to the playoffs 3 years in a row, brought us a championship, had a packed house last night, and no mention of it.
Well, you're mentioning it, so you brought it into the show. As I've said, I think Atlanta United is the best AAA club we have in town, and I think it's fantastic what they're doing.
We'll be hosting
right?
We'll be hosting the New England Revolution next weekend in the playoffs.
That's the Tom Brady team.
Oh,
come in. He also
any of them American?
Striker for them. What are you, like this, Mr. White nationalist? This guy
They call them the what do they call them?
Hold on. He loves baseball, which is Dominican Republic and everything. But because he doesn't like soccer, he brings in this Archie Bunker.
None of them are Americans.
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, how can you root for people if they're not Americans and you're an American sport?
I don't know. Ask any fans of any American hockey team how they do that.
Same. It's almost as boring as soccer.
Oh, so you can only watch a team that has people who are born in America on it?
It's called a joke.
Oh, well.
I
thought jokes were supposed to be funny.
Well, it was, but you're Mr. Sensitive Literalism.
Well, no, because then what happens is, my little thing about the reality is Atlanta United is a AAA club in the world of soccer. There's no one who can say that's not true. When you and it's not, Maybe it's cold water thrown in people's faces. I'll give you that. But you can't get mad at me. I'm not saying they're not great. I'm not saying that what they've done is not spectacular. What I'm saying is when the NFL, the team that wins the Super Bowl, usually the Patriots, when they win, they don't lose players to world leagues because they're in the top league in the world. When you do really well in the MLS, you're probably going to end up being poached eventually by one of the world clubs, which are above, which my friend Jared Yamamoto even has to admit is true. It's not downgrading anything. It's not
I would
downgrading
love
anything.
to see Atlanta United play some Premier League teams. I have to see it first to believe it.
Yeah, you know what happened? Okay, let me tell you what happened. If you Atlanta United, and it would be awesome if they against Manchester United or something, right? And they just beat the pants off them, right?
Yeah.
In a friendly or something like that. The next year, 4 people will have been poached from Atlanta United and up in the World League. The Premier League.
Well, they will poach from another league. And
do we know
Atlanta United back up?
I'll say this: it's not being negative to point out reality. Atlanta United is a great team. As an Atlanta citizen, I am proud of Atlanta United. But let's not pretend that it isn't what it is. It's a feeder league. Answer this: yes or no. You only have the ability to choose one or the other. Yes or no? Because truth hurts. Is the MLS a feeder league to other leagues or not? Yes or no? You have to choose the one that covers most.
In the past, yes.
Okay. But the future is going to be different?
The future is very different.
Atlanta United. Future, if you mean 30 years in the future, maybe. But if you mean 5 years into the future, no. The Premier League is still going to be the league. Listen, people have got to learn how to listen to this show properly. What I just said, if you don't know that what I just said did not denigrate Atlanta United at all, then you're not up to speed. You may have to find one of these other radio shows that speak a little slower and pander to you. I'm going to expect you to be up to speed. I'm not saying anything bad about Atlanta United. What I'm saying is, let's not get past our skis on this. They're the best MLS team, and MLS is a feeder league to not only Premier but other world leagues. That's simply stating a fact. If the Gwinnett Stripers won, the Gwinnett Snipers. if the Gwinnett Stripers won a championship, I would think that was great.
Yeah, they won the International League.
But I wouldn't think that that's the same thing as winning the Super Bowl in the NFL or something, or World Series.
You're going to upset
baseball.
Striper Nation.
Is there a Striper Nation?
How's our lacrosse team doing?
Are they Americans?
Very much so.
Yeah, they're all from Central New York.
Yeah, suburban white guys.
So Atlanta United will host the New England Revolution on October 19th at 3 o'clock, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You can buy tickets now.
Today?
Yeah.
So you can be there rather than watching the Braves possibly clinch the NLCS.
Serious question. Did they show it on television?
Yeah, they've got it on 2 networks. They've got it on American and Univision.
Cool.
Well, I don't find Tim's questions to be of the right spirit. He seems to have a nasty streak in him, but I have no nasty streak in me.
I just don't like soccer.
I love everybody. I love everybody.
I'll make this proclamation that Atlanta United is the key to all other Atlanta sports. Because they won last year, they have set the tone now. The Braves look good in the postseason.
Sure.
If they have a deep run, it's because of what Atlanta United did last year in 2018.
Falcons came out, shot out of a cannon.
I knew you were going to go there.
Wow, if you're going to make an analogy, it's got to... Oh, you know what? I just keep talking about this because I know there's 17 people in the audience who hate when we talk about sports. So go ahead.
All right, I've got another open mic for you. This is about
18. 18.
This is about the second whistleblower that came out over the weekend. And
I knew it. See? First is the first one, right? And you don't do anything about that. Next thing you know, there's number 2. Who is that? Is that you, Tim? Is that you?
No.
Autumn?
No, I want to find out who it is as much as you do.
Jared.
No, sir. Not me, Mr. Von Haessler.
I will find out who it is, but for now, go ahead. Give me your stupid little story.
Watching TV about this second whistleblower.
Oh, whistle.
Boy, the Democrats has hit an all-time low, and they're about it. I thought they were as low could get, but they're amazing me. These people need to be drug out of office and put in prison. From Nancy Pelosi all the way down to Chuck Schumer, all of them that's involved in this stuff. They need to be drug out of office. They're pulling this country down. God bless America. and long live and God bless Donald Trump.
Yeah, I think he believes in the second more than the first.
Gentleman is correct, I might like to add.
Oh, so here's the erudite redneck.
I would like to add that he had a very valid point, and God bless President Trump. I mean,
Yes.
this kind of course, darling.
Darling.
Yes.
What are people complaining about?
I
He's doing
don't know.
fantastically
No
for the
idea.
country.
We are able to keep our guns,
Yes.
and we pay less in taxes. What more could you want? I don't care about the Kurds.
So, let me hear that again. Let me hear it one more time.
Watching TV about this second whistleblower. Boy, the Democrats has hit an all-time low, and they're I thought they were as low could get, but they're amazing me. These people need to be drug out of office and put in prison, from Nancy Pelosi all the way down to Chuck Schumer, all of them that's involved in this stuff. They need to be drug out of office. They're pulling this country down. God bless America, and long live and God bless Donald Trump.
That's the America that he's speaking of, is the one where you jail all of your political opponents. It's a little bit of a different kind of America, where if you lose an election, lock them all
It
up.
sounds very reasonable to me. They're ruining this country.
These erudite rednecks.
Well, yes, well.
Darling, have you seen our money? I've been looking for it in the front yard. I must go grocery shopping.
The hound dog carried it out.
It's really something. Yeah, just lock up all your political opponents. That sounds like America to me.
The Von Haessler Doctrine.
I just love tuning in because it feels like I'm listening to friends in a conversation.
9 till noon on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
I guess maybe it's shown on TBS and I'm seeing it because of the playoffs. But I saw a commercial for Forrest Whitaker's new show, Godfather of Harlem. Cultural appropriation, anyone? Hey, look. There's either cultural appropriation or I think the Italians should be beside themselves. Godfather of Harlem. Come on now. Does cultural appropriation only go one way?
Apparently.
Yeah, I guess so. Nobody's raising any red flags on that one.
Does it actually go at all?
Well, it does. It pretends to go.
Okay.
Well, you're very metaphysical today.
Well,
very
I'm in a very metaphysical mood.
She's thinking meta or meta.
Or beta.
Beta
or
physical?
or VHS. I think laser disc physical.
Ooh.
Oh, so sharp back in the
Absolutely.
80s.
I'd
So
love to.
big. So round. So shiny.
So large as an LP, and yet we still had to stop in the middle of the movie and turn it over. Wow. That digital compression has come a long way since the 80s. All right, you got more. The mailbag seems to be all open mics.
Oh, I've got something from Tracy here. She wrote in our super secret fan group, 2 + 2 = 4. And she says, "Good for you, Eric, for speaking up on the Hong Kong situation. This is why I listen to you for the most part. Well, there's the famously talented Doctrinaires, but you are definitely the voice of reason."
The voice of reason. I don't even know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'll tell you this. I'm guided by reason. I believe in being dispassionate. And I believe that 2 + 2 = 4. And that's the only truth that we actually know. Do you know that 2 + 2 = 4 here, on Mars, on Jupiter, and all the way on the other side of the universe? That's the only truth any of us know. The rest, opinions. Hour 3 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. I have to make a little bit of a correction here. As we went to break, I was saying that the only thing that we can truly know is that 2 + 2 = 4. All the rest are just opinions. I have to amend that, however. That's one thing that we can always know, that 2 + 2 = 4. There is a second, and that is that reruns of Law & Order will be playing on some channel somewhere at all times.
Yes.
There is not a moment of the day that Law & Order isn't playing somewhere and available on your system, whether cable, DirecTV.
You don't even need cable.
Anything. Sometimes it's just playing on the wall in my living room. I don't even know who's putting it there. You could binge. Somebody somewhere. We have to find this. They find like that guy comes out of a cave in Japan like 40 years after the war's over. Oh, what? The war's over? There's got to be somebody who started watching episodes of Law & Order and say, I don't know, 2012, and just hasn't stopped. Just as soon as it stops on one station, they go to the other station, begin it again. And I think it's on Netflix or something, so you can jump over there.
It's nonstop.
And they're
I
all
can't live
great.
without Elliot.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. It's some version of Law and Order. Law and Order, the original, was on for 19 years, I believe.
The one with Jerry Orbach, right?
Yeah, they have kept changing cast.
Yeah.
But it was on for 19 years. And I think that I'm right about this. They cut it off before they went to although they have the other Law and Order still going. Laws and Order still going. They cut it off there. And my understanding is if they'd gone one more year, they would have been the longest running drama. They would have beaten Gunsmoke, I think.
Wow.
And if you're that close and you're still going to run, the 5 other versions of Law and Order that are out there. I don't even remember. They got one that's just deals with candy crimes. It's kids stealing candy.
Why no do?
Ching chong. Let's. You got some open mic still?
Yeah,
This guy's dragging me into open mic land.
Yeah, the listeners are chatty today, Eric, and they want to weigh in on things, and you'll like this version.
All right, call off the dogs, open the gates, let the people in.
Richard B. Kennesaw, Eric Von Haessler,
I believe
Was that a graduation thing?
Let me just say that I love this. I like the people who identify themselves and where they're from on the open mics. You get an extra star from me.
Richard B. Kennesaw, Eric Von Haessler, you are the man. Speak the truth, man. You're awesome, and I love listening to your show.
We don't know exactly what he's commenting
Everything.
on. Everything. He likes every single. He likes when I stumble, when I stammer, when I don't get my ideas out correctly.
You're
All of it.
awesome.
Thank you, sir. Thank
You're
you.
awesome.
It sounds like he especially likes me.
Yeah. You did you get that?
I'm just getting that.
You
I
guess
mean,
that came through to
listen
you?
more to the pauses in what he's saying and less to what he's actually
So
saying.
what you're saying is during the pauses, he's thinking autumn fishing.
Definitely.
Let's hear it again.
Richard B. Kennesaw, Eric Von Haessler, you are the man. Speak the truth, man. You're awesome, and I love listening to your show.
Yeah, I heard it.
I heard something. Did you hear? I heard
Jared.
You're awesome.
I hear Jared.
I hear Tim.
I think it's going to go viral. What do you hear, Jared or Autumn?
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you call in and tell us who you hear?
Yanni or Laurel?
The crappiest radio show in the history of radio.
I have lots more open mics.
Lots more.
This gentleman is making a good point.
Morning, Doctrinaires. I've been telling people for years that the end game of political correctness will be federal legislation preventing us from talking to one another because somebody might be offended by something we say. Well, New York has criminalized certain phrases, so the slide to silence has started. So have a nice day. Talk while you can.
My goodness, that guy's upbeat about the whole thing.
I've been telling people for years, gather round, children.
Well, there's only one problem with these laws. You can pass any law you want. It's got to pass constitutional muster. It's got to ultimately
Is that
the
someone
Supreme
on
Court.
the
That's Mr. Muster.
Yeah.
Mean Mr. Muster, they call him.
He doesn't like changing the Constitution.
And they're all worried that John Roberts wants to be liked more than wants to be judicial.
But that's in women's rights.
Yeah.
They're looking for that in terms of Me Too movement stuff, ultimately Roe v. Wade. But no, I don't think there's any danger that this conservative court is going to let this sort of thought crime happen. It's
Probably
not
even
thought
the
crime,
liberals will
speech crime.
vote against it.
Of course. I mean, ultimately, you have to be in favor. Listen to me. This is how it goes, people. Gather around the radio box. Sit crisscross applesauce. This is the way that it goes. If you're not in favor of the First Amendment protecting speech that you hate, then you are not in favor of the First Amendment. The First Amendment does not exist to protect speech that everyone loves. There would be no need for something like that. It exists to protect speech that in its modern time is unpopular, no matter what that means. These days, political correctness may not be popular, but an awful lot of people are buckling to it because they don't want to deal with it. And that's when the First Amendment arises. Now, if you're somebody who feels really, really glad that the First Amendment exists in a day and age like this, live long enough, and there'll be a point where you're not happy about it because it's going to rise up and protect speech that you hate sooner or later. And that's how you know it's alive and well. I hate what that guy said, and the First Amendment protects him or her.
Thank you.
You're welcome. let's.
I've got more open mics for
Oh,
you.
what?
Yes,
What
more
is this? Open Mic Monday? Did we just come up with something,
Oh,
Rush?
my gosh.
Rush Limbaugh, did we just go Open Mic Monday?
Well,
You
I
can't
was
say
already
that.
doing it
You
5
can't
years
say-
ago.
No, you were not.
Oh, yes, I was.
You
Roll the
can't-
tape.
You can't. Maybe it's an homage to, what is the Friday, Phone Call Friday or whatever? What's it
Open
called?
phone
Open
Friday.
line Friday.
Open Line Friday.
I don't even know.
That's not even. That's not.
Open the door. It's Friday.
Yeah, they take calls. So we're gonna be Open Mic Monday. You don't care, will you?
I don't care.
You'll still give me the free iPhone, won't you?
What's
iPhone
your
11?
carrier?
I like when you say that. I get really tingly.
Ooh.
I get tingly inside.
Well, maybe that explains this open mic, you getting tingly. I don't quite get it, but we'll play
I'm
it.
just a tingly person.
You're listening to Eric Von Haessler. You think ladies are the only one that like to wear boots in the fall? Eric's got his thigh highs on today. He don't let 90-degree temperature separate him from his fall fashion. Keep up the good work, Eric, you fashion plate.
It almost sounds like a slur there at the end.
Fashion
shut
plate.
Up. Shut up over there, you fashion plate.
You dandy. You fap.
Was he making fun of the little bits that play after?
Maybe. I don't know. I never hear those bits. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to say that I don't ever hear the imagers that go around the show. And don't you say,
No, I was thinking about a bad dinner I had last week.
Jimmy doesn't question Chad on the changes to the car, and Chad doesn't question Jimmy about what the car is doing.
Who are you talking about now?
I'm talking
Chad and
about
Jimmy.
Chad and Jimmy.
Who's Chad?
Jimmy
Carter?
Chad and Jimmy were a very famous singing duo from the 60s.
I'm Chad.
And I'm Jimmy.
They're like the Beach Boys, but not.
Yeah, they're broken up now, but that would be Chad Knaus and Jimmy Johnson. That was a NASCAR. Seven championships with those guys together. And what I'm saying is, it's
like
my
a
job to
Rangers.
create a show. I do that every day. I don't question what the powers that be, what they do, and how to market it and put on and promotions. Unless I hear that one is absolutely dreadful, then I'll speak up. They're not all dreadful.
Milk.
Somebody.
Yeah.
Why don't you just do what I do, which is just walk away during the commercials?
I do.
You know what I do? And by the way, this is not going after you, Autumn Fisher.
Okay.
Because I love you dearly. And you're the sexiest thing. You're sexy.
You
On
don't
the
need
show.
to.
Huh?
On the
on
show.
this show, you are the sexiest person on this show. And you know what? It isn't even close. But you can use a few steps between while the commercials are going as well. That's
Where
what
am I
do.
going to go?
You just walk around the apartment complex there, wherever you're
I
in.
don't- I haven't
You're in a little
lived in an
townhouse
apartment
village.
complex.
Whatever. You're in like a little one of those town. It's a community. Walk around your little
Yeah,
thing.
but then the old man that lives like, how's the kids? Where's Pete? Like, oh, he's at school. Okay.
Look,
Put
you know
headphones
what?
on.
Excuses are
Are like eyeballs.
Yeah.
Everyone except for people that don't have them.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. That's what I was going to say. So you know what I do? I walk sometimes in my own house.
Wow.
I just go up and down and walk around.
Is your wife home yet?
My wife is home, yes, as a matter
Okay,
of fact.
good.
I've had a couple
You
good...
just walk around the home, clod with your big feet,
Yeah.
make noise.
Yeah.
You take your shoes off.
Sometimes when there's...
Picture the way that Goofy walks, and that's what he looks like walking around.
Oh, we have to go after the guy who's getting in shape to make us feel better about ourselves.
Going after the people who don't need to walk 10,000 steps in their own house.
It's a very funny episode of the Von Haessler Doctrine. Yes?
I have one more open mic for you, and then I promise
Again?
you.
This truly is Open Mic Monday. You're going to sue Rush Limbaugh.
Well, I'll talk to Jared off the air.
I don't know if you guys already covered this today because I turned in a little bit late.
Oh.
But have you covered the Elizabeth Warren story where she claimed that she got canned from her job teaching because she was pregnant, and then she is speaking and in an old video stating that she quit because she had to get more teaching credentials and had nothing to do with that. And maybe somebody can explain to me why there are two different stories and why the media is not covering it.
I just want to say sorry for calling. Yes, I had a couple of white wines.
Okay.
And I just wanted to know if anyone has stated I heard about Nancy Pelosi.
No, Elizabeth Warren.
I mean, Elizabeth Warren, or whoever. It's like she got fired or something.
No, it turns out this is actually true, and we do have the audio from. Do we have time here?
Yeah, we got it.
2 pieces of audio, Alan. All right, I got 1 minute. All right, so you go with the first one. This was put together by FBN. This is her in a bunch of different appearances lately, talking about how she got fired from her teaching job and why.
By the end of the first school year, I was quite visibly pregnant. I was visibly pregnant. And the principal did what principals did in those days. Wished me luck and hired someone else for the job.
Okay, so she's been out there saying that she was fired because she was a woman who got pregnant, and they didn't want pregnant teachers around. First of all, I had plenty of pregnant teachers in my life. I had them in the 70s, and I had plenty of pregnant teachers around. So that makes no sense. Now somebody dug up, I think from 2007 or something, an interview she was doing. By the way, back then, she was doing her hair in a very Native American style. I noticed when I was watching this.
Mohawk?
But so back, no. So back then, this is what she said about her teaching experience.
I actually didn't have the education courses, so I was on an emergency certificate, it was called. And I went back to graduate school and took a couple of courses in education and said, I don't think this is going to work out for me.
Yeah, so she basically said it was her choice to leave. This woman has victim envy. You know, she so badly wants to be an oppressed victim. You tell me we have some breaking Braves news, and I tell you I don't listen to WSB to get sports updates, but okay, fine.
The Braves?
Yes, they made a decision about today's game.
Yes, they're going to start Dallas Keuchel today at 3:07.
Now, do we know more? Do we know if Tehran will be waiting in case there's trouble in the first couple of innings?
They don't have any information in this press release about that, but I would assume, yes.
All right. I'm just wondering if you go right to Fried, as they've been doing, or do you are they going to put Tehran in there just in case? Because we can clinch it today. So do you throw – you're a big baseball guy, Tim Andrews. Do you throw everything at the wall as if it were later in the
if you win tonight, you get a couple days rest.
Yeah, because the next game wouldn't have been till Wednesday.
Yeah.
So then you wait for the other one. Maybe hope the other one goes 5.
Yeah.
Let's hope Keuchel redeems himself from Friday. Or Thursday last week.
Thursday. Keuchel didn't do as badly as maybe I just feel like you need 7 and you need 7. That's what, hey, the ones we've won, you get 7, right?
That's right.
That's right. We're back. Last half hour on the radio side. Then we go over and do the podcast 30. Let's do this.
Even more headlines for Monday, October 7th.
I have one headline I want to... I don't mean to step in on in your territory, in your area, Jared.
It's not in the contract, Eric.
Certainly not. It's unorthodox. It's a strange move on my part for me to pick out the story. But I read this story this morning before I came to work. And I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but I want you to know. Everything is, okay, news story, strange news story, sort of disturbing news story. And then the last sentence just knocks it into outer space. So the headline is, bride-to-be walked in on groom-to-be sexually assaulting drunken bridesmaid 2 days before wedding. So they're all together at a party. Maybe it's the dress rehearsal, the dinner. And they're all having fun and everybody's drunk, I guess. The wedding party and guests have been celebrating at the Shawnee Inn in Smithfield Township when Daniel Carney allegedly pulled the woman into a downstairs locker room and attacked her. Very sad, very tragic. Carney was charged with involuntary deviant sexual intercourse of an unconscious person and indecent assault. Surveillance video allegedly shows Carney taking the victim, who was extremely unsteady on her feet, into the men's locker room. The alleged victim blacked out from drinking and woke up in the locker room with Carney fondling her all over and you know what. In a phone call after the alleged assault that the Monroe County District Attorney's Office allowed investigators to listen in on, Carney repeatedly apologizes to his accuser for the alleged assault, blaming himself several times. He also admitted to investigators that he assaulted the victim. Now comes the last line of the story. A friend of the couple told the station the couple still got married. What? Now, what I say to this bride is, if you end up in now, not physical harm, don't get me wrong. I would never stand behind that in any relationship. But if she just has a lousy marriage where she knows this guy keeps cheating on her and that makes her miserable, I gotta say, I gotta put that one on you. When he sexually assaulted your bridesmaid 2 days before the wedding, and that wasn't a red flag for you about the guy's character, at least when he gets drunk, then I gotta say, again, if it gets physical, no, I'm not saying that's her fault. But if she just ends up in a miserable relationship with a guy that she knows is cheating on her all the time, sorry, there was a huge red flag, and you're colorblind. Yes.
Well, her family, they all flew in, and the tickets that they had probably weren't refundable.
It was very hard. Yeah, very hard. Exactly.
I am not giving up on my wedding. I don't care.
Yeah, my goodness, what must that wedding have been? What was that reception like?
Did she have to get a new bridesmaid?
So romantic.
Yeah, they really were in love.
Yeah, the heart wants what it wants.
That's right. That's right.
What happened to the bridesmaid? Did she stay and be part of the wedding?
No, I don't think so. I'm assuming not.
But maybe she's the kind of, like this bride, she's the kind of woman that blames the woman.
Ooh.
Right, well.
Like, let go of my man.
No, it says here the bride broke it up. When she saw it happening,
get away from him.
She rescued. Yeah, maybe she saw it the other way around.
I knew you always wanted him.
I don't know.
Wake up.
Yes.
Well, the pictures would have been uneven, though, had there been a different number of bridesmaids versus groomsmen. So that could have been a wedding controversy.
All of the groomsmen volunteered to back up, back out.
I feel as if there are good reasons. They're rare to cancel a wedding 2 days before it happens. This would fall into that category of good reasons to cancel a wedding 2 days before. Well, may they have a long and oh my God, they'll probably have kids. Can you imagine growing up with that? Just knowing that? He did it. He did it once. Did he do it once? Yeah, he got caught once. All right, let's do this.
You've already hit it, Eric.
I did?
That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally
She was all like,
even more headlines for Who Cares Whenever
I tell
2019.
You, today's show, I feel so totally here. I got plenty of sleep last night. I stopped getting drunk by 5:30 yesterday.
Congratulations.
And I gave myself a few hours. And then I've just been forgetting things. I guess it's just the end. We're at the beginning of my mind slipping. It was never that solid to begin with, I can tell you. But I will feebly and humbly make my way through. All right, give it to me.
Beyonce and several high-profile guests flew to...
Beyonce?
Yes.
Wow.
And several other high-profile guests like Oprah Winfrey, Halle Berry, and Samuel L. Jackson all flew to Atlanta over the weekend to celebrate the opening of Tyler Perry's new mega studio.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I actually do. I really think that's awesome. I mean, this is a huge studio. I know they've been using it for a while, but the grand opening of sorts. And his story is amazing. Born into poverty, and has created a huge movie studio where you can do everything. I mean, I always felt like Tyler Perry didn't get enough credit for the things that he was doing. And just because quite often he makes kind of silly movies, and so he gets kind of put in like a black Adam Sandler or something, But I've always appreciated, and I said years ago, and people in the movie world, I travel in the movie world with critics and such, and I said it then and I'll say it now. Tyler Perry, a more accomplished, more important African-American movie director than Spike Lee, hands down. Why? Tyler Perry sells tickets. People see Tyler Perry's movies, and all kinds of people see Tyler Perry's movies. And you could say the Medea movies are stupid. Jerry Lewis movies are stupid. I happen to enjoy them. I think Medea is a very funny character. And is it Citizen Kane? No, it's not. But I got news for you. After Spike Lee's second movie, he didn't come up with much that would rival Citizen Kane either. So, I said that years ago, and people were like, "Oh, are you crazy?" Like, well, think about it. People see Tyler Perry's movies. People can tell you the last 5.
And they're funny.
They're funny. I mean, they're they do their thing.
Right. There's a life lesson involved in most of them too.
Yeah. Well, some of those are that's a kind of a movie. Is it my favorite kind of movie? No. But then again, I don't watch a whole lot of Adam Sandler movies. But I may not have seen an entire Medea movie, But I've seen scenes from a few of them, and like Jerry Lewis movies, I laugh. I mean, the one where she's trying to find a parking spot at Target, I don't know which one that is, and she just keeps on driving until she's basically in the store. It's just very funny.
And people say this, a show like The Simpsons, when it used to have a beginning and a middle and an end, you know, when it was actually telling a story, it was a morality play.
Mm-hmm.
Every episode was a morality play.
And also, I just like the fact that he does stuff. He gives back to the community. He's known for that. I think every studio, every different area in the studio is named after a groundbreaking African-American actress. And he does all that stuff. But he doesn't just, he makes movies that people can just laugh at. And you don't have to have a particular background or grow up in a certain way. And to me, that's popular entertainment. I think that I appreciate that more than an awful lot of critics do. I mean, what's the last good Spike Lee movie? People have to try to say it's Klansman.
Black Klansman.
Was it great?
Well, got rave reviews.
The new Doctor Who gets rave reviews. I have to mention this. According to the headline, madcap confetti-throwing comic Rip Taylor has died at 84.
Hey!
Now, I don't know exactly I know when I was a kid, I used to love when this guy showed up on the Tonight Show or the Jerry Lewis Telethon, and I don't know really what his act was. His act was bad jokes, it seemed like.
Prop comic, he wore that obvious wig, he threw confetti all the time.
And he always walked through the audience when he ever showed up on a show, whether it was Jerry Lewis.
Here he is. Let's welcome him, everybody.
Rip Taylor, he's kissing an old lady in the crowd. Happy Days Are Here Again is playing. He's tossing confetti. It would always take him like 4 minutes to get to the stage. And when I was like 8 or 9 years old, I thought that this was absolutely hysterical. I don't know what I would have thought if I was older when he came along. I probably would have thought, this boob again.
Show business.
Show business.
Come on in the back, and we all pay the same price to get in here.
It's kind of like Paul Lynde a little bit.
Yeah.
Except,
with props.
This is how long it takes him to get to his first show. Half the show was
sheet music.
He's holding up a sheet that has music notes on it. He was Carrot Top before.
Keep moving. That's how Lincoln got it. Jesus.
Well, we met Rip Taylor once at the other show.
Yeah, 2006.
Yeah, it was a Dragon Con where we met like the Happy Days people came in, Rip Taylor came in, and Mickey Rooney came in.
Mm-hmm.
And Rip Taylor, I think, was the last of them. And Mickey Rooney was a little bit, he was an angry fella at that point in his life. He was in a wheelchair and not a pleasant person. And when Rip Taylor was in, while we were live on the air, I mentioned that Mickey Rooney had been there. And without saying anything on the air, he just turned to me and stuck his finger down his throat in the gag. So, Mickey Rooney was not all that beloved at the time. But it was great to meet him just because as a kid, I tell you, I would light up when that guy was on a show. And I just thought it was hysterical.
He was a surprise guest, and I covered everything. I was the producer then. I covered everything with garbage bags.
Yeah.
So the confetti wouldn't get in the board.
And then he didn't bring in any confetti.
I left it on the plane.
Yeah, we were playing Happy Days Are Here Again. Yep. The whole thing. The only thing I will say is, this is I learned a lesson from meeting Rip Taylor, which was, and now before I walk out and meet anybody, because some people like this show and they like me and they're fans. And when I met Rip Taylor, he had bad breath and it affected me. And I thought to myself, I don't want to do that to fans. You finally meet your favorite radio host and there it is.
How you doing?
Yeah, radio halitosis right there. So Rip Taylor, I loved him. I don't know that I really understood what it was that he did.
He was a comedic genius.
He was Donald Trump. You liked him, huh?
You know what else is funny?
What else is funny?
Parody songs.
Oh, you guys got to do thing.
Right.
We have a deal. We got to do it. We got to do it twice. But actually, I like this. This is a collection.
It's a collection. It's a box set, if you will.
It's like
sampling of some of the songs.
I find
sounds a little bit like something I had made last week.
You say that Trump is
wonder
stealing?
Who gave me the idea to do it?
So, it sounds a little bit like yacht rock.
No, not
What
yacht
are you calling
rock.
it?
Schooner tunes.
Okay, all right, I had it.
Ahoy! POTUS
You didn't have
Records
a bell in
presents
yours,
Schooner Tunes, featuring Demented
I could have
Don
a bell
and
if
the
I wanted.
Donalds.
I'm not corrupt.
perfect. It's just because the fake news lies to you. Biden did Obama's dirty work. Oh yeah, vote for me. I must be re-elected. I'm just talking to Zelensky.
Scooter Tunes, featuring Demented Don and the Donalds. Slap on some sunblock, pop a top, and crank the tunes.
Why is he so creepy looking and bald? If you were sent by Obama to mess around in Ukraine.
Help President Trump fight Congress and get reelected in 2020. Only $19.95. Order yours today at schoonertunes.gov.
Fake news, they lie.
Is that a real website?
Fake news, they lie. Fake news, they lie.
Except for Big Boys Don't Cry at the end.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very good. It took me all of 3 hours to make that.
I will have. I would play the AOC one that Autumn did, but I can't find it. Do you have it?
I'd have to look.
You have to look.
Gosh, I just can't find it. I think I threw it in my special
I think the production
filing cabinet called the trash can.
I think Demented Donald, it just has a better production facility, is what I think.
I have access to better materials and hardware.
You have a recording studio right there.
I'm doing a podcast from the basement of the White House.
God bless the United States.
The basement.
The basement. They had a bowling alley down there, but I don't know.
I was trying to. I guess you can't find. Sorry, Autumn, I can't find that one that you did with AOC.
Uh-huh. That one was hilarious.
Yeah, you were inspired by that, I would imagine.
Well,
It's
yes,
kind of an
yes.
homage.
Right.
Kind of an homage.
Mm-hmm.
We only have about 1 minute here. Did you know that Henry Winkler has hated Tom Hanks for years? Are you aware of this?
No, when I read that story, and I had no idea.
Well, that music tells me if you want to hear Henry Winkler respond to that, you're going to have to come over to the Podcast 30 because we're done on the radio side. But your fearless favorite host is never really done on the radio side. I like to work. Come join me. Podcast 30. How do people join us?
They can go to two places, Eric. They can go to the Von Haessler Doctrine Facebook page.
Thank you, Jared.
Or, you're welcome, Eric. Or the WSB Radio Facebook page. There's a little red box on either of those pages. All you have to do, Eric, is click it, and you can see us in the studio doing the show.
Well, I can see us in the studio doing the show because I'm in the studio doing the show.
Right.
So you mean other people need to click it?
Yeah.
Click that red box, people. It'll make you happy. We'll be back tomorrow morning to do this all again. Hopefully my mouth will be working in full working order, but who knows? Comedy happens either way. You're all invited to join us. Thanks for listening to the Von Haessler Doctrine podcast. Remember, you can hear the show every weekday from 9 to noon right here on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Like current events and want to be the smartest among your friends? Then the Power Pod is the show for you.
The Power Pod is a weekly recap show where we cover the current events of the week.
It's a show where we're not afraid to get serious.
And we're not afraid to have some fun.
So try us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, the WSB Radio app, WSBRadio.com, Stitcher, CastBox. Okay. Anywhere there are podcasts, we are there. So power up with the Power Pod.
Podcast 30 begins right now. Tim Andrews.
Keep going.
Tim Andrews is with us. Yeah, we have to stop commenting on the crappy music at the beginning of the show.
That's a drinking game also. If we comment on the crappy music, and then if we comment about not commenting on it.
Well, then you got to drink.
Yep, drink.
J-Rad on the tunes. Autumn Fisher. It's doing whatever Autumn Fisher does.
I'm tired.
You're tired? I should be tired, given the fact that my mouth hasn't worked today.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
Well, it happens sometimes.
Well, maybe with you and me it worked, but I mean as a communicator, as a broadcaster.
I understand.
Left a lot to be desired. Left a
about
lot
it.
of letters
How
on the
many-
table today.
How many How many games did you watch yesterday? Out of curiosity, you watched Bills Falcons.
I watched Bills Falcons.
Braves.
Well, it wasn't Bills Falcons. I watched the Bills game. Watched the Falcons game. I watched the Braves game. I caught a little bit of the race because I have to do the NASCAR thing.
I watched the paper game. I watched the pajama game.
I watched all of those. The paper
Saturday.
game.
How many college games did you watch?
It's impossible to find good college games. I watched a little bit of
Auburn, Florida was good.
Florida. Yeah, but it's one. I mean, I don't know what's going on with college football. Usually, it's sprinkled around with these cupcake games. The college football better end with the most amazing last 5 weeks ever, because it's impossible. I like football. I can watch two teams that I don't care about. If they're evenly matched and it's a game, I'll enjoy it. I don't care if it's the Purdue Boilermakers versus Iowa, or if it's good, I'll watch it. I'm always looking for a good game. And now because I get my 10,000 steps in, now I really give myself license to sit on my ass as long as I want to and watch sports on the weekend. And this year, compared to other years, very difficult to find good competitive college games. I mean,
Notre Dame and Georgia a couple weeks ago. That was good.
Okay, we've just mentioned 2 in the entire season.
Iowa was good versus Michigan, right? Was that with Iowa State?
Yeah, but then Michigan, but that's only close and good because Michigan's terrible now.
Oh, okay.
They should be able to wipe the floor with them. I don't know. I just find it to be. I think it was bad scheduling. A lot of cupcake. Alabama's number 1. Who have they played?
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. What are they ranked? But Alabama's number 1. We know. We're the experts. We know that when they finally play another football team, they'll dominate them.
Oh, don't worry. Alabama's got the hard games coming. They've got LSU, Auburn. I think they may have played Texas A&M already.
Schedule.
I can't remember. I know that Georgia plays Texas A&M.
Alabama, I think, did play Texas, or LSU did.
I can't remember who played it. I'll check on that one. But I know that Georgia plays Texas A&M.
My prediction is that LSU wins the SEC West.
Me too.
Over Alabama. Autumn is the one who told me to go.
Autumn said that last year.
She said, "Look, you're not going to look like a fool. You look like a visionary. Just go with it.
Yeah,
just go with it.
I mean, you have to risk it if you want to succeed."
She said that quarterback, whatever his name is, that's exactly how she put it to me. That LSU quarterback, whatever his name is, he's sensational.
We don't need to know his name. We just need to know that he's good.
We know what he does.
Yeah,
we know the results of what he does.
What's in the name?
That's right. He's he's got a real bland name.
Yeah, it's like John.
Yeah, Jimmy
Stevens.
Howard.
John Johnson.
If I lived in an age where computers could tell me things like this, I wouldn't be in the dark for so long.
No, you don't need to bother your brain with that kind of information. You need to stick with what's important. What kind of player is he?
Yeah, and
where is he going to take the team?
And also, this keeps coming up in my brain a lot.
Yeah,
I like popsicles.
Oh, I know.
Good. I love.
Which kind though? Do you like the kind that are like creamy,
Hey, this is a family show. I
like them creamy and so cold.
Popsicles. You bite into them and it drizzles out.
Oh, oops! You accidentally bit the popsicle stick. What a fun surprise!
I like sexy popsicles.
I'm so cold.
She's so cold. She makes me warm.
I like bomb pops.
Oh yeah, I
bet
don't know.
You do.
It's too
so dirty.
Too patriotic for you.
Too much of a warmongering. I'm a peaceful person.
Oh, okay.
I don't like bomb anythings. I get the real fruit ones because I'm watching my stuff.
So they're not like cylindrical. They're like flat.
No, I get the cylindrical ones.
Those?
I like it. But I'll tell you the thing about popsicle. It's got to be not totally frozen. You got to leave it out for a minute.
No, because it's just hard at that point. Like you can't get anything from it.
I like to scrape my teeth across it and sort of like pull up. No, it's like it pulls up the shavings and you get like shaved ice.
No, I can't.
What?
I can't. Oh, you put your teeth on it?
Yeah, exactly. It makes it wonderful. Putting my teeth on it. If I didn't put my teeth on it, then I wouldn't eat a popsicle.
No, I don't eat a popsicle by biting it.
No, I don't bite it. I just shave it.
And then after that, you chew on aluminum foil while breathing in.
Yeah, exactly.
No, chewing on aluminum foil, just the concept of it. There's a couple of concepts about chewing things. I was reading, it was either a Hardy Boys book or it may have been one of the other, but a book like that, a mystery book for kids.
Brown.
It might have been.
Yeah,
it might have been. But
Boxcar Kids.
There's a description in there. This is like when I was 8 or 9 years old, and ever since then, the father is eating ham, and then he puts milk in his mouth, and he's chewing ham and the milk rolling around at the same time, and that freaked me out. and then also chewing on aluminum foil.
Yeah.
That. I've never seen anybody do that. I don't know
I've
why
tried
anybody
it,
would.
and
Why
it's not
would
great
you
with
do it?
fillings.
No, is it? Why do people do it? Because it's a unique feeling inside your
No,
mouth?
I think it's probably. I mean, I feel like mine was on accident.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, that would be like you ever do something and your fingernails are a little too long, and then it really quickly flips up and then flips back.
Yep.
It's over before you can even recognize that it's happened. And
Yeah, but
you're just left in the after. It's like
Yeah.
it's like that moment where you should have been in a car accident and it would have been your fault, but at the last second you weren't. That moment you feel it's like it's all about the after. It's already happened. It's just
It's like that shiver after you pee sometimes.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah,
You
but
see
you're
my
not
fingernails?
Yeah.
Always,
Clip 'em.
always clipped for that reason. It's hard
What
to open
else
a
grosses
Coke.
you know what else used to gross me out?
Hey,
What-
call in 404. What
Talk about what
grosses you
grosses you
out?
out.
Popsicle sticks. Speaking of because I don't know why, I still can't see someone chewing on.
I
a
chew them into
popsicle stick.
oblivion.
Well, you're like a swizzle stick chewer guy, too.
No, he has an oral fixation.
And we all know what that means.
That's
think I'd
right.
be able
That's
to
why
turn
he's
that-
still married.
I should turn that into a moneymaker.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I could make $20-$30 a day.
Your mouth ain't broken.
That's right.
Also, wet paper towels used to really freak me out.
Why?
I don't know. It just gave me that. It's called squee. That feeling that you get
Is
when
it
something
really called
grosses you
squee,
out.
or is that a millennial thing?
No, it's really called squee.
I get that when I touch a wet car door.
Oh.
I don't like touching wet metal.
SQUEE?
Really? You don't like wet metal?
See, I don't like
Uh-uh.
styrofoam.
Oh,
my
I
gosh!
like
Like when I during Christmas, we always pull out. We have this little village set, little Dickens village set in our house.
Oh, and they're in styrofoam.
And you have to pull it out. I'm like, I don't want to touch it.
Is it because of the sound it might make, rubbing together?
I hate the sound. It just makes me cringe. I just don't like it.
Let me tell you something about styrofoam. It's been a revolution in packaging. And we're able to
Thanks,
send
Grandpa.
We're able to send things to the mail. It's like my grandfather.
Styrofoam got men to the moon.
You know what? My grandfather, his thing on that was nobody talks about the orange juice. That's why we're living so long. Refrigeration. When you can have orange juice in every home, that's when people started having stronger bones and living longer. Nobody talks about that.
Orange juice has nothing to do with refrigeration or
Well,
bones.
no. Orange juice was
Calcium in
a treat. Yes, it does. It has calcium like crazy in it.
You
And
don't have
orange juice was a treat. And until you had refrigeration,
Oh, and then
you
it
could-
was just
it was in everybody's
okay.
home. And then
All right, your grandpa's legacy can live on.
I suppose milk could fall in there too. But
Yeah,
also-
milk makes way more sense than orange juice.
Orange juice has a lot of calcium in it.
And
I
vitamin
don't
C.
What the
care.
hell's the matter with you, Miss
I'm
Opinions? You're tired. Well, then shut up.
I'm on my period and I'm tired.
Oh, we
Sleep
gotta know.
more.
Hey, what
I
are
would
you,
love to.
What are you? 37?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably only got like 10 or 12 more years of those.
I'm
things.
having hot flashes. Here comes Nick. Shut up, Nick. You don't know what we're talking about.
What's she talking about?
I have no idea.
Check out the menopause.
Yeah. I get a hot flash every once in a while.
Need to get yourself a packet.
Back on the dairy farm, we
Guess
had a lot of menopause in the cows.
Let me tell you about menopause on the dairy farm. It was a product called Dr. White's.
Ah,
Told this story before.
Dr. White's.
Yeah, they were. It was
Is that some
it
sort
was-
of like?
it
Is that
was-
your version of Doc Johnson to get all the dildos from
that's-
Dr. White's?
No, Dr. White's.
Eric,
was,
this is WSB.
I
yeah,
know,
please.
it's a podcast.
Hit
though.
that disclaimer. Come on,
We
man.
can say dildo, right?
Hey,
No,
Dr.
you
White
stopped
was
me
a-
for much less.
No, I can say it. That's what you don't understand.
No, I know. I'm just joking. Move
All
on.
right.
Dr.
there's a-
White's were sanitary towels for women when they were.
Towels? Boy, they have every...
They were. Oh man.
I need a set. I need a set.
Hey.
What is it? Sanitary beach towel.
How do you make pickle pizza?
How?
Dildo.
Oh, that's funny.
Hold on. Can I?
Nancy
Can I use
Pelosi
that
told
one?
me
Can I
that.
write that
She
one
gets a
down?
little blue sometimes.
All right, Paul.
Hey, shut up.
You know, hey, I was at a benefit Saturday night for Atlanta Boxer Rescue, like Casino Night in Marietta.
You guys are rescuing what? Evander Holyfield?
That's right, yeah, taking care of their head injuries. No, the four-legged kind of boxers.
Go Braves.
Go praise.
And this one couple was like, "Oh, English Nick, we love you on the radio, love you on the Von Haessler Doctrine, you know."
But
and one of their friends was like, "What? He's not just on 97.1?" And they're like, "Oh no. There's a whole different Nick that comes out on the WSB
'Cause you're allowed to.
podcast."
You're allowed to play here.
Stretch your legs a bit.
Stretch
I
your
mean,
legs.
I do a little bit of it over there, of
Yeah,
course. My
a little
personality
bit.
into it.
Yeah.
Less is more, Nick.
Yeah.
Don't start your
Your
radio.
personality is your accent over there.
That's right.
That's what makes
And
you
my
jump
take
out.
on things, you know.
Yeah, your English take on things.
That's right.
Like I remember last July 4th when you said I was rooting for the other side.
No, I didn't
People
say that.
loved that.
No, I did not say that.
Tested really well.
That is one
Your
part.
particular.
I am not going with that kind of improv around here. That's going to get me in a lot of trouble.
When you went on last July 4th and
I know.
said you were rooting for King George back in that
That's
conflict,
right.
People just loved it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, he's from another country.
Oh, I had the TARDIS. I went back in time.
That's right.
Yeah.
People don't know what a TARDIS is.
You're not supposed to say that anymore.
TARDIS?
Yeah.
Oh, it triggers people?
Why is it? Was it trigger people? Are you saying tard?
Yeah.
Because the word tard is in there. We can't say
Yeah, I don't like
TARDIS
it.
anymore.
No.
Wow.
Hey, flame retardant is also.
Yeah, we gotta get rid of
triggering me.
that. Yeah,
So-
we gotta
Doesn't burn.
It has every right to burn if it wants.
It doesn't burn. Why doesn't it burn? I don't. It's because it's got
stops.
something in it to
It
stop
stops.
it. Flame stopper.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm triggered by the word flame. If people want to be flaming, that's up to
Yeah,
them.
exactly.
Yeah.
Derogatory.
Well, flaming obviously came from the whole thing.
When they used to set gay people on fire.
No.
Well,
Yes.
actually, that did happen.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah,
did
I know they
happen.
did that, but that's not where they call him a flamer for.
Why? Well, you wouldn't put that together. If they used to set gay people on fire, and then in the modern world, no. It actually turns out that there is some etymology to this.
I'm looking it up.
You can look it up. There's, also the
Flaming
reason
gay
the reason that your
etymology.
smokes, the reason your smokes are called the F word, which is the F word we're not allowed to say about gay people and flamers and all that. The reason you guys called that F word your cigarettes, was because they went up in flames. And the reason they were called that is because it's a bundle. I know it's a bundle of sticks. But they used to set that bundle of sticks underneath gay people and put them up into flames.
No.
And that's why people called the F word for smokes in England.
That's weird because
No,
in
it's a
England
name for an
growing
old
up,
lady.
I'm making this up.
Oh.
We used to stop.
Yeah, thank you. Because
I thought you were being honest.
What do I gotta be?
Because the most
check
common-
back?
the most-
a guy giving out Pinocchios over
All right,
here.
present participle adjective from
Sha.
flame the verb, meaning of bright or gaudy colors.
Yeah.
Is from the mid 15th century
I'm
as
on
an
to the
intensifying adjective late 19th century, meaning
I'm
glaringly
talking-
homosexual.
I'm talking about the other one, the F word that.
I know you are, but I'm still on flaming.
The FAG word.
actually growing up in the UK, the word that was most commonly used for
I'm just gonna start spelling them all out.
for gay people was poofter.
Poofter.
Yes.
Now that sounds
Poofter.
worse.
Poofter was.
He's a
used-
poofter.
First time I heard the word poofter is during the rock and roll for was it Campuchia?
Monty Python.
No, it was.
Oh, with
they
George
may have been in
Harrison.
it. It was no, I'm not the one from
Not the
'73.
Bangladesh.
The one, Bangladesh. No, that was '73.
Yeah.
McCartney did one in the early '80s or late '70s for Cambodia. No, Bangladesh. For a different
Kombucha.
or something like that. Kombucha. Where's that? Where is that?
It's over there.
They have that kombucha at Kroger now, that drink. The
Now
kombucha.
listen to me.
Not kombucha.
This is
The
during.
kombucha's good.
This was during when Pete Townsend was an alcoholic.
Ah.
Before we knew he was a pedophile. This is when he was an
Research.
alcoholic.
Oh, he was
He was
doing
a
research.
simple-
He was doing research.
He was
for
doing.
that.
He was an alcoholic at the time, and McCartney had everybody wearing this stuff, and they had these famous top hats to play together in what was called the rockestra. And
So they were in suits and dicky bow ties and stuff.
And Pete Townsend refused to wear one. And at one point, Paul McCartney's about to start singing, and he refers to Pete Townsend for that as a poofter, which will get him in a lot of trouble today.
I've only pronounced it as poofta.
Poofter.
Yeah, poofter, yeah.
Listen, I don't call people names.
No,
so
I'm just saying.
Unlike
I don't know
Autumn,
why.
who's very well versed at these things.
I've only ever called someone a
Yeah,
poofta.
yeah. Me, I don't know how to say things because I'm always nice to people.
Well, you know
That's
what?
true. You know how to say pleasant things like, hi,
Oh,
how you doing?
Hey, how are you? You should see when I walk through the halls here.
Good day.
How are you?
How
I'm
are
well.
you, sweetheart?
You know what I do? And I teach.
Looking sexy today, Barbara.
What's going
I
on,
can't
honey?
say that anymore.
Hey,
always
Just a
sugar
little
britches.
slap on the tiny.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's
Have
right.
you been working out?
That's right, Toots.
You're glowing.
Oh, your husband's a lucky man.
Old
Yeah.
tight tush Tina.
Wow.
Not his Tina. Not his Tina. Not his Tina.
Busted.
No, it was the first female
Deep
teen
personal
name that came
thoughts.
to mind.
Uh-oh. Deep personal thoughts coming out. Are
It
you
was
drunk?
the first-
English.
I am. No, I'm not drunk actually.
Yeah, that's when you say the truth. I think he's got a thing for your lady. What's your dating life like? I mean, I'll tell you about mine. I'm still married to the same person after 32 years.
We all know that. We don't need to ask you about yours. So my dating life is like I'm hanging out with some new people.
Yeah.
Through mutual friends.
So
I'm
vague.
also ran
Some
into
new prospects?
So you're saying this, you're
so vague.
All right, steady,
English
Carly
Nick doesn't
Simon.
want to say anything.
There is nothing right now. There's nothing
You're
right
just
now.
hooking up with people.
Not even that. Nope.
Wow. You're
No.
celibate.
Making out?
I'm just...
Making out?
You guys, you
A
like
little
to put
making
all that,
out.
don't you?
I watched you work 2 weeks ago, and I knew that had things not been the way they were, you could have walked out of there with a new friend.
Where was that?
I'm not going to say where. I just watched you work.
Women fall in love with English Nick because of his
He's
accent.
so nice.
I
He's
ran
very
into a
nice.
friend from about 20 years ago last
He's
night.
sexy, but not
Not
scary.
threatening. Not threatening.
Yeah,
anyone.
not
No, I don't think I'm creepy. No, I don't
No.
think I am.
No.
No, because women here aren't aware of what creepy English old men look like.
But you're all right.
Look at you, eh?
So
He's
they-
always asking if I'm okay.
They have no idea. They have no idea. I call you an old man. You're younger than me.
So I did run into somebody from way back yesterday, and I was like,
From way back, as in we used to get it on. Way
No,
back?
no,
Or
she
just
was
friends?
a part of a group of friends.
Yeah.
Art student.
And
used
you
to hang
guys
out in the band
squirreled
thing.
off together. You stole away.
No, we just saw each other at the
You know
Tom
what
York show
squirrels are
last
looking
night,
for.
and it was like a great
Oh,
conversation.
Tom York.
Yeah.
Was that BYOP? Bring your own pillow.
No, let me tell you, it was not a
Did it
sleep.
get amped up?
It got
'Cause
really
that guy can get very
oh,
monotonous
man.
at times.
No, it was brilliant. It was brilliant.
He put out an album a few years ago that I was
Well,
convinced he recorded it while laying down in
Yeah,
bed.
there are some songs that are sleepy.
He had an ache.
He has a vibe.
And you know
but
what's
it
weird
was-
about Tom York is as he ages, he's beginning to look like Willie Nelson.
He's a little bit, but man, he was dancing his little butt off last night. And
Even the other eye got
and
excited.
he turned 52 today, so he did like a little happy birthday thing towards the end of the show.
Oh, good. I like Tom York.
And he was amazing. It was like full force, like really fast beats and stuff like that. Because there was like, turntables and there was sequencers
Yeah.
and there was keyboards and there was guitars and bass. And
Yeah,
then there was a
him
guy.
and his producer.
Yeah, Nigel Godrich. And then the guy off to the right, I can't remember his name. He was doing everything.
Of course his name was Nigel.
The video stuff.
Yeah.
The video stuff.
Well, Nigel
behind.
Godrich is the last. He produced the last really good Paul McCartney album, Chaos and what's it called? Chaos and something in the
Sticks.
backyard. Chaos and something.
Yeah,
in the
you know he's a
backyard.
bit of a genius when Tom York in
Chaos
interviews.
and creation in the backyard.
Tom York in recent interviews when he's asked about Nigel, he's like, "So does Nigel just tell you to
Yeah.
f off sometimes when you're not agreeing on
No,
how
McCartney
things
never
should
worked
go?"
with him again because he.
Godrich?
Yeah, because he didn't care that he was a Beatle and he forced him to work hard, and that's why he produced
Yeah.
a really good album. But
Well-
McCartney's not used to people quite saying, that's not
No.
good enough.
We all
Go home, work on it, bring it back tomorrow.
We all know that Tom York's a musical genius, not of this earth, alien person.
Yeah, he's great.
But he says that when they're working
I like
on
that
stuff,
OK Computer. That was the 90s, but I know he's done a lot since
yeah,
then.
a lot of stuff. He says when he's working on stuff with Nigel, if Tom gets to a point where he can't see how to fit the pieces together,
Yeah.
Nigel steps in and does it. So this guy's mad.
Now, here's the
great,
one thing that I don't
amazing.
like about Tom York.
What's that?
I can't take the whole THOM thing. Tom
What
is
about the
TOM.
fact that there's an E on the end of York, too?
Yeah, he's getting very oldie.
Extra letters in there.
Oldie English.
If Greg Russ was here.
Thomas.
What?
Thomas is spelled TH.
Yeah, I'm aware
Yeah, but
of that.
William-
Mr. Pinocchio.
Tom is the one that's wrong.
He's on
It
the
should be
truth serum
Thom.
over here.
Did Autumn give you the accuracy in comedy?
It should be Thom. It should be Thom.
If I could call him Thom, but I bet you he'd yell at me.
It's not great.
What's that
I
look
knew
like?
it.
Him
You voted
yelling
for
at you.
Bush, you jerk. What?
What's that look like? Tom York yelling at you.
Well, you don't know.
I don't
You
think
can-
he yells that
It's only
much,
through
to
one
be
eye.
honest. I can
Yeah, it's
see him
like
having
this.
spats.
You know, if I would have.
You're cutting down the man.
if
You put
I
on one of
would've-
the best shows I've ever seen in
If
my
I
life.
would,
last
if I,
night.
I'm not cutting him down. I'm having a little fun.
I know.
But if I that one really
This is my
boring,
Tom York face impression. Like,
Your screen's really blurry, so it's kind of hard
Yeah.
to see what's going on.
it's really good.
My review.
Yeah, you got too many.
Nobody cares about my reviews of albums.
No.
But when he put out that really slow one, I said Tom York's music has gotten as lazy as his eye. Yow!
I'm not sure. I have a lazy eye. You all know that. The one
Yeah, but not like he actually doesn't have it. He has,
His
he's got-
eyelid is drooping
His
down.
eyelid
Yeah,
droops.
the
He's
eye
got
droop
nothing on
hangs
his
down.
eye. You
Yeah.
have the lazy
I have
eye.
that where I see
Which
two
I
of
think-
you.
Yours
by
only
the
if
way-
you look a certain way, right?
No, he gets tired.
It's
If
a
he gets tired-
misnomer because his
I
eye
can
works
make
so
it.
hard, then it
Yeah.
gets tired. How's it lazy?
Yeah. Tired eye, we should say. Overworked
Tired
eye.
eye. It's watching you.
So what is that? So you're saying when that happens, with English thing, it happens as he gets tired.
I can make it. I can stare at you though.
Yeah, but then you see two.
I see one head there, one head right there.
Has this ever bothered you while driving?
No, it
at
never
night
happens. Never happens at driving.
Because
you're
working hard.
focused far away. You're not focused.
Especially with you riding that motorcycle now too.
That's right. Well, especially on a motorcycle.
Couldn't they have done some sort of operation or something when you were a child?
They did. They did. And when I was 7 years old,
your mom was like, "I can't have
Caroline
this.
can
This
correct
kid
me.
is freaking me out."
Caroline can correct me.
What's wrong with him?
But it used to go out farther, right? And so they cut the muscle. They do something to disable the muscle. And I think there could have been further operations down the road.
But then you were like,
But I think Ivan and Caroline were fine with it.
I think possibly by the time you turned, this guy was a late bloomer. I think.
And apparently I could still do something now, but I don't like eye surgery.
Lost his virginity at 18 or something.
21.
21. So by the time he was 22, he realized, hey, I have no problem getting laid. So why get surgery on my eye?
Yeah.
They told me that Ellie would have a lazy eye if we didn't get her glasses, if
Yeah?
we didn't correct her vision sooner.
Nobody likes a girl with a lazy eye.
No.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
How's
Why
she-
is that?
how's she
How's she
Find
gonna
a man.
land a man?
Yeah.
That's right.
Who's going to take
Or
care
a
of her?
woman?
That's so. It's so sexist, isn't it? That a guy
really
can get
is.
away with a lazy eye, but a girl, oh my god.
Yeah, she's done for.
Don't
So
they do that
I-
thing where they put the patch over the eye and you wear the glasses so the lazy eye has to work
I did
harder?
that. I did that after the operation.
That's
after
because
surgery.
did Caroline say that she didn't know what was wrong with him back then, right? She was, what's the matter?
What's wrong with the googly-eyed son?
Actually, Caroline has
Has
a
he got
lazy
an
eye
antenna
too.
in his head or an eyeball?
But not
Caroline.
as bad as mine.
You passed it along.
Oh.
You and your bad genes,
The damn
Caroline.
lazy eye gene I've carried with me for my whole life. All of a sudden I'm
Blasted.
Irish.
Blasted. Yeah, where did he come from?
I don't know. Wales.
Nessie.
Wales.
Loch Nessie. Where's
This
the
is
Nessie monster?
Deep
Sussex.
Hello.
Yeah, I think usually I'm used to that. Sometimes you see the kids with the eye patch, and I'm assuming that's what they're
I
doing.
would
They're
love
trying
to take Tim and Autumn over to England and we do a
Yeah.
tour of all the different counties.
Yeah.
And they could just, every county.
Yeah, we
just
work
say
it out. We
say
gotta
how they
work it
think
out.
It works. No, just do the wrong one in the wrong county.
I want to do Northern, don't I?
Well, if you're up north, lad, the north like that, Yorkshire.
Yeah.
I like the Cockney accent. I
Oh,
like that.
What's
bloody
that
hell,
from?
mate.
Is that city?
What's going on with
Is
him
that
then?
for poor men in
I'm
the
getting
city?
married in the morning.
Ding dong, the bells are gonna chime.
Why does Liverpool have that?
Liverpool, I don't know,
Because they're close to Ireland, aren't they?
Well, no, I think it's more about where they are in the country. Plus, Birmingham is the same way. Birmingham, like that's
it's got a port.
Oh, it's a port city.
Well,
It
you
was
do.
so on Below Deck. There's a guy from
Uh-oh.
Liverpool, and it was
Oh.
really cool to hear him speak because
Which
he
one?
sounds Jack.
like a beetle.
He's a jerk.
Oh, those four
He
mop
was a
top
jerk because he
Liverpoolians.
cheated on Aisha.
You know who else was a jerk? All the Beatles.
I'm just
Not
saying
me.
it was neat to hear him speak because he said all these things like the Beatles would say that I thought were just sort of unique to the Beatles. Like,
Right.
all right, brother, stuff like that.
All right, brother, I'm gonna go swab the deck.
It's
With
like
the
my-
boson.
You ever hear him swearing from back then, like in these off tapes? I love the F word. It's basically FOOK.
K, yeah.
Ooking this and ooking
Oh,
that.
yeah. Like in that,
ooking this and ooking that.
Yeah, that Pete Best
Yeah.
movie. I feel like it's all over that movie.
He's in a movie with
Was
him?
it a Pete Best movie?
No, it wasn't really Pete Best. It was like it was the
it was
Beatles,
called-
fake Beatles. And
Oh, it's
What are
called.
you talking about? And it was about that time with that lady that was taking all the pictures of them.
Yeah, it was about Astrid.
Yeah, what's her name?
Astrid.
Yeah, Astrid.
She was the one. But it's hilarious to listen to them swear. Ooking. Ooking this and ooking that. I think Pete Best. Pete Best actually did have a movie. It was called Help. Me, I've just been dropped by the biggest band of all time.
Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong. I said Pete Best. It's not the right person.
It's not the right person. You're
Who's
thinking
the guy
of
that
Stu
was
Sutcliffe.
Yes, Sutcliffe. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's
I'm
okay.
so
Alton. We know you love the Beatles.
sorry.
She's on her period.
He was John's lover. Stu Sutcliffe was
They
John's
say,
lover.
no, come on.
Him and
now.
Brian.
They had a threesome.
Oh no, come
we
on.
were a
Paul.
foursome, but they had a threesome.
When they were in Hamburg.
Yes.
There were a lot of debauchery that went down in Hamburg.
What happens in Hamburg stays in Hamburg. Unless you eat a
George-
hamburger there, then you
George's-
fly home, and then it's in England in the toilet.
All we had was George's mum's scones. That she
All right,
made
we
us.
talked about the Beatles at the end of the podcast 30 last time. It
All
drove
right.
everybody
Then we're
crazy.
talking about
Let's
the
talk
Beatles.
about Pink
You know,
Floyd.
Abbey Road, #1 again. No?
Is it #1 or
It
in the
was.
top 3?
It went to #1
Got
last
back
week.
in the top 10.
Can I say I do not prefer listening to the remastered album?
I do not on headphones, but on my really good speakers, really loud, it was great. On the headphones, it's a little too. I'm using AirPods like you. You got to remember, AirPods are protecting your ears.
Okay.
So there's a processing going on with AirPods.
Protecting your
that's
ears.
Not, because they're Apple.
They don't want to blast you out.
And so if you really want to hear it the right way,
looks out for you.
Yeah, whether I like it or not.
They know what's best.
So what are you saying? Because you can't get the full range of sound? Because what I mean is that it's almost like sitting in the front row of a theater or something. I can hear too many of the changes, and I'm like, that's different. That's different.
Yeah,
that's different.
I feel like that when I listened to it on AirPods, but I played it really loud on really good speakers in my my room.
Right before your wife came home, so you could have fun.
My wife was there. I said, I'm going upstairs.
So the dream wasn't real then.
What dream?
The dream that I had last week about
the
Jane
divorce?
coming home and divorcing you.
I don't know. We had a fight before football yesterday, and I thought, man, maybe.
Sunday
Why did you bury the lead? It's 4 minutes to the end of the show.
What?
Tell me about this argument.
It was a stupid argument, but we've been having so many stupid arguments for so long, and now we have nothing left to say to each other. Well, why don't you just leave then?
What was the argument about?
It was
I told you to buy French onion dip.
No.
My grilled cheese is burnt.
My bagel is
I get annoyed that she responds to me in a negative fashion, even if the
Okay.
thing is trivial. And then she's right that it's trivial, but I'm not getting on the thing. It's just that I don't like negative.
You want to be responded to in a positive way. I
do.
get that.
I mean, sometimes, and then it's
What
ridiculous.
does that mean? I get what you're saying.
And then it heightens up, and then we're yelling at each other, and it's funny because and then what happens is we've known each other for so long. I go upstairs, brush my teeth or something. By the time I come back down, we're just talking again. Like there doesn't even have to be any resolution. It's just like, okay, got that out of the way. Now there's never anything like that. But and at one point, it's like, well, why don't you leave? You leave. Blah blah blah. It's so ridiculous. And then this morning, I was thinking, we could never. I don't know about never, but because life is what it is, and other people can want what they want. But I just think it'll be very difficult after all this time for us to break up because. When you break up after being married for 32 years, there's a lot of sorting out to do. So like we could get in the mood where it's like, yeah, to hell with you. I'm going my own way. You go your own way. But that mood could never last over a month of moving out of the house.
Right, because
like
your lives are so woven
sooner
together.
or later, be like, oh, this is stupid. I can't imagine me like, I'm taking the couch.
But Eric, there's this new trend that's going around. I saw this out in Knoxville on Saturday. I saw a woman that was probably in her early.
What's the new trend in Knoxville?
Her early 50s.
Mattresses on the porch?
No mattress on the porch. But there's this new sash, and I've seen this around Atlanta too before, where it says, where usually it'll say like bridesmaid or it'll say newly married.
Right.
I saw one that said newly divorced, and this woman had to have been probably about 52, 53 years old. And she was out there partying with her friends,
just say this.
asking for high fives out and around.
Let me say this. That's a very depressed woman. And if you're wearing a sash that says
newly divorced,
desperation.
I'm guessing it's the man who got free.
Yeah.
Honestly, the idea, it's so weird. If a woman is out there, I'm so happy. I don't need him. No, hey, let him have her.
I always wanted to pay my own mortgage.
Yeah, I'm better than that. She's going to be miserable alcoholic.
She was pretty hammered.
Because if it was her idea, she wouldn't need all that.
Right.
I applaud her.
Rationalization.
I applaud her for going out to where all the college bars were at, and she was.
She's looking for some.
She was
young stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
She's looking for some
Hey,
young
Brad, that old lady wants to bang you.
Sad.
It is sad. It's sad.
That looks
it's really
so
sad.
sad.
Why
She
would
was
you
with her friends. She
celebrate
wasn't by
The whole
herself.
concept of
It doesn't
celebrating.
matter.
That's
Going
where
to
high
like
fives all
college
around.
bars,
Yeah.
that's not what you want to do. If you're a normal person, you go somewhere and you bitch to your girlfriends about getting divorced.
Yeah.
And you cry, but then they they talk badly about him, and then you guys laugh, and then you get a little too drunk, and you go home and
And then
you
it
have a hangover
all
the
ends
next
in a big
morning.
lesbian orgy.
Sounds like a plot
No,
of a Real
no, no.
Housewives.
I've
You're watching
movies.
way too much Real Housewives, honey. That's a plot
That is
from
not
an episode.
that's reality.
Yeah,
That is
Housewives
so-
isn't like that.
No.
Honey.
Oh, they get together and bitch about men when they divorce, don't they?
Yeah.
They
well,
bitch about him
they
all the
bitch
time.
about
It's
everything.
fake. All of it's fake.
No,
Right?
There's too many things happening that I need to comment on.
No, too late.
It's the train
What?
is moving
Oh,
too
wow,
fast. I
honey.
can't.
What, so you say you got a lot of things to comment on, huh? All right. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
sorry.
wait, but hold on. But
Yeah.
Nick just said
Hey,
that.
by the way, all the men got their commentary in, right?
Absolutely.
Everybody
Yeah,
feels
I believe so.
satisfied?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
satisfied.
good.
All
Yeah.
right, we'll get to autumn
I'm good,
stuff
yeah.
tomorrow.
I feel like this is It's Always Sunny.
I haven't watched either of the first two yet. I hear they're
gotta check it out.
unbelievable. Tim Andrews told me that he fell off the couch on the second one, and my son told me the second one's really funny too. I was drunk watching the first one and realized
You won't retain it.
I'm not getting. I just stopped watching because I hadn't laughed in like 10 minutes, and I'm like, okay, you must be really drunk. You're just not following this. Try again later. All right. We're done.
Okay.
Join us tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.